Yeah. Nick and Perry on the mic, straight killing. Talking wrestling, news, mad thrilling. From the ring to the headline spilling. Every match, every feud, bone chilling. Hip-hop podcast, feel the hype. Every scoop, every match, they type. In the ring, we see stars take flight. Nick and Perry bringing truth to light. To light. SmackDown, Raw, they break it all down. From body slams to the champ's new crown. Tag teams, giants, they cover each town. Every heel, every face, every showdown. Hip-hop podcast, feel the hype. Every scoop, every match, they type. In the ring, we see stars take flight. Nick and Perry bringing truth to light. To light. Ladder matches to steel cage thrill. From pay-per-views to the backyard mill. Nick and Perry got the inside skill. Wrestling a world at their will. Hip-hop podcast, feel the hype. Every scoop, every match, they type. In the ring, we see stars take flight. Nick and Perry bringing truth to light. To light.
Hey, what's up?
Hello. What's going on? Welcome everybody to another episode of the Cheap Pop Podcast. I'm Nick. Here's always with Perry.
What's up? I got
and
my
we're
water in front of my
here-
face.
And
my
we're
lights
here. This is our panel episode that we've been meaning to do for the last 2 weeks. And just other stuff's come up. Perry went to Raw 1 week. I was kind of not feeling that good. I was kind of feeling under the weather the next week. So now we're doing it here.
Yo,
and
guys in the
now-
chat.
So what's going on, everybody in the chat? Anthony, Weston, Jeff, hockey fan. What's going on? And we're here with two very special guests. We have
If Jace,
Milkman.
if you want to come in, man, just come in. Just saying.
We have Milfman,
He
What's
is-
up, everyone?
He's the man
And-
with the 3 eyeballs.
and then we have Sean, also known as Kenny Omega Guy. Sean, what's going on?
What's up? Hello, everyone.
And yeah, we're here to talk a lot of stuff's happened. We last did a show the week of Elimination Chamber, and a lot's happened since then. A lot. Cena turned heel. I want to go over that extensively for the first half of the show.
Oh,
Because
people will probably hate what I say.
I have a lot of opinions on it. But Cena turned heel. Punk's finally getting his main event. It seems like they have some stuff went down on Raw. There was an AEW spot. They got a lot of people fucking, up in
Feeling
arms on
something
the
go away.
internet. And then just some other stuff we'll throw in there here and there at the very end. But anyway, Perry, how you been? How you doing?
I am
How's
good.
everything?
How about you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Let's get into Elimination Chamber and let's get into the Cena turn, because that's the most important thing to come from the Chamber. The Chamber match was great, and I love the ending of the Chamber match. I loved everything about it. With the whole curb stomp to Punk, and then Cena takes advantage of it, which was kind of a heel tactic looking back at it. And then he wins the Chamber. And then, Cody comes out, Rock comes out, they do the whole thing. Brock says he wants Cody's mind, body, and soul. Cody does the babyface thing, my soul's with the people, and and all the stuff. And then John just fucking kicks him right in the dick. And it was and then John, Rock, and Travis Scott, of all people, beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes in the middle of the ring and leave him busted open. And yeah, Cena turned. And yeah, what were your we've talked since then, Perry, but what were your initial reactions when you saw the Cena turn finally happen? We'll start there.
Sean, were you watching it with us or what?
When it happened, yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Okay,
I
yeah.
mean, I really thought it was a great turn. I also thought it was good the whole like, when Cody said, like, fuck you, and then
Yes.
like
Yeah, I like that.
so you have that whole situation, and then you have Cena playing the like goofy happy, like, oh shit, I can't believe he said that, like, haha, like,
Yeah, because that's
the
what
whole-
Cena usually does. So it was believable that he's
When
exactly,
Cena was
very
still in the
true.
ring, I was like, something's happening. There's no
But
reason for him to
you know-
stay in the ring.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I thought that there was a reason because he's the one that he's facing, that Cody is facing. It was like he was interrupted. Those two were facing off each other, and then The Rock came out and interrupted it. So to me, it was like Cena was just sort of waiting for Cody to tell Rock to fuck off so that he could get back to it. He was
Yeah.
playing the fool the whole way, and then when they did that hug thing, and The Rock did that weird slash, like Cena's face went stone, like it was like, whoa, this is like you've been holding this in practicing this in the mirror sort of shit. Like he was
Yeah.
really legitimately like a different person. And then when he did all that, it was like, whoa, this is a good turn. I thought it had the shock value and everything. And so far all of his promos I think have been great because he really hasn't had to change very much because he already was a heel to half of the people anyways.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go back to the question I was asked. I wasn't really shocked because I thought it would either be him or Punk.
Yeah. I still
But
thought it
it's
was
his
gonna be
retirement year, and I was like, wow, they pulled the
Yeah.
trigger on this one, huh?
Yeah.
But it
Yeah,
makes so much sense though.
Yeah.
The retirement part makes total sense because
Yeah.
now they have the Cody to like sell the t-shirts and have the kids care about. And if like Cena can most definitely will turn back to being a good guy before the end of this. Like he's not going out completely as a heel. Something will happen. There'll be some sort of redemption before he leaves. He'll
What
beat
if at
somebody.
WrestleMania they do the finger poke of doom part 2?
Oh, he's not going to be there because his last WrestleMania was the last.
Well, no. They get Cody and Cena about to fight. Cody pokes him with a finger, pins him. And then they all jump up and we got one over on The Rock. It's so stupid.
Now, if Cody took the finger poke of doom and like was like, "Oh yeah, I just want Cena to get the like thing," and like I'm totally in line with what The Rock says. The other thing about this whole Rock storyline is just that he's not even part of the story since the Elimination Chamber. They haven't even mentioned him on television.
He teased that he was in London tonight or something on Instagram, I think. But I don't think anything really came. I don't think he wasn't on Raw, right? No, he wasn't on Raw.
I'm
So,
pretty
I
sure
didn't-
it'd be
I didn't
all
watch
over
it.
the internet.
but
It'd be-
I watch Raw.
Milfman, what did you think about the turn? Just talk about the initial turn when it happened at Chamber.
The initial turn, my issue with it was the timing. I personally did not want them to do it there. The reason why I didn't like them doing it at that time, because I love the idea of Cena turning heel, but
Yeah.
I don't like the execution of it is my issue, because to me it gives away the ending of the Cody versus Cena match. Because there's no way you turn a guy heel after 20 years just to have him lose. There's no way. It literally gives the match ending away to me, which I hate. It makes
I
it
don't
too
know if
predictable.
that's true. I don't know if that's true, man. I think there's a complete possibility that Cena could lose. Like
If he lose, that heel turn was for nothing, man. That heel turn was the biggest waste of a heel turn I've ever seen in my life.
I agree, but I think you're seeing that through like the lens of like a fan of John Cena and we wanting to see like, oh, Cena heel, he's gonna win the title. Like that makes sense. But like really, they've been
I actually
building
don't want
Cody.
Cena win the title personally. I actually want to see Cody retain. If it's between those two, I'd rather see Cody retain personally. But I would have rather them do it the way WrestleMania 17's Austin heel turn was done. You never saw it coming. You could have teased the heel turn is what I would have done.
Well,
you could have teased
we
the heel
actually
turn
knew that
between
was
two.
happening for a year.
But you got to have that build though. Like
Yeah, you know who ruined it?
Without that, like you lose all the like these different moments where he's meeting up with him and they're talking against each other or they're having these promos or Cena's coming out to like dress down little children about how they're, they're leeches and they are like people that don't deserve his what
But
he
he could have
does
done that
because they
afterwards, though. He could have done that the night after Mania.
So
He
Mean
could have done that
Gene,
the week
Mean
after.
Gene had the WCW hotline in 2000,
Yeah.
and in early 2000, he said on the hotline, "Steve Austin is slated to return to the WWF and join Vince McMahon." That
Yeah.
was in April of 2000. Okay,
That's crazy.
it happened a year
Because-
later. And by the way, Mean Gene was at that show that it happened at.
Because you could have even have had it where if you did something where The Rock asked both of them to sell their soul and they both said no. And then you see The Rock coming down the aisle like Vince did in 17, and you're like, all right, somebody's turning heel. Now you have an intrigue like,
Well,
all right.
this
who's
was
the
like you
guy?
said, it was done so you didn't see it coming.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't want the I don't always need the build of who is it gonna be.
Yeah, the who,
Because
yeah.
We
Or-
already had the build of who is it gonna be. If you're like a smart wrestling fan, you are already, like you said, you were tapped into to the point where you're like, it's gonna be Punk or it's gonna be Cena.
That's what we were
I was-
thinking.
I actually never thought Punk. I personally never thought Punk.
Well, because
know a lot of
Punk
people
told
that-
Cody,
I
your friend
personally
stabbed you
thought
from the front.
Cena-
And we were
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
okay, is this really going to happen?
Yeah.
I thought,
thought-
if
I thought
anything, I thought
there's-
it could be McIntyre, but once he went
Yeah,
out, I was
I
like,
thought-
okay.
Originally, what I thought was neither one of them was turning heel because I didn't think they would have the guts to turn Cena heel. I knew Cody wasn't turning heel. I always felt it was going to be a triple threat, and it was just a matter of I was waiting for somebody to come from the crowd. I initially thought they was always going to do it where either Rollins, because Rollins has been kind of acting heelish,
Yeah.
or
here's
I
the-
was like, it could be McIntyre, it could be Logan Paul just because of his name value. They might want to put him in there because you got two baby faces. He could be the ultimate heel.
Nah, it's all right. That guy's too busy playing with Pokemon cards. Come on.
So
Also,
I know,
him
no,
and the-
no, I didn't.
You want to turn
it.
Logan Paul heel? Rip his Pokemon
Also-
cards in half.
Also, like most people probably know this, maybe some don't. Him and The Rock have like legitimate, like actual, like they don't like each other. Well, The Rock doesn't like him. The Rock used to be
Wait.
really close with him, and then when the whole the forest in Japan shit happened, he cut off all communication with Logan Paul. Like
Oh,
literally,
yeah,
was like,
I didn't know that. So
yeah,
but
I highly doubt they'll work together.
no,
So-
I was thinking it was just going to be a third guy. I was more leaning towards Seth or Drew because I was like, it's most likely Seth because Seth is a baby face. So to sell your
Yeah.
soul, you technically have to be a baby face to sell your soul.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it was going to be Seth because Seth has been kind of acting kind of heelish
yeah,
at time, kind of teasing that heel turn. Which I
Oh, because
believe
he's a heel
so
against
heel.
CM Punk. That's why.
yeah. Well,
Do
also,
you have to actually be heelish to sell your soul, or even a face to
Because-
sell your soul? You could be right
I
in the
think-
middle, because in the end, it wasn't really about like you're selling your soul. It's like essentially like selling out.
Hey, Sapphire
yeah,
sold her soul to $1 Million Man, remember?
But the way he portrayed it was
because-
like, oh, Cody, if you sell out, if you sell your soul, you get this big locker room that has is a wine cellar, and you get this big truck, and you like it was all like. It was
You see-
actually more like college basketball recruiting or something like where the person gives you money because they want you to be their guy. And like that's what it
Yeah.
was. It wasn't the whole like sell your soul thing. I don't think you need to be a good guy or a bad guy to do that. That's why I
You see,
believe
because here's the thing, though. Here's the only reason why I say that. If Logan, because remember, The Rock used those words, sell your soul. That's the only
Mhm.
reason why I'm using it. And then I'm like, all right, if it's really if it's Logan Paul, most people think Logan Paul have no soul anyway. Most people would call him a sellout anyway. So it's like, if he was the guy, it's like, it doesn't come off as good as if somebody who's actually liked by the fans does it.
yeah.
I'm gonna say something about this whole thing that might be controversial, but like The Rock, in any sense of this story, has been all over the place. His promos are crazy. He repeats the same lines over like he'll say a phrase, like a 3 or 4 word phrase, and then re-say it directly after it. He seems like he's winging it half of the time. I'm sure they give him some sort of outline of what they want, but most of the time it sounds like he's just doing whatever the hell he feels like he's going to do. And
Well, so
That's
does
some-
Tony Crack Cocaine Khan on the other side. So there you go.
Well, here's the thing with the and I want to get to the next. I want to get to the night after, or the next time Cena like actually showed up, which was not the night after. It was like a couple weeks after.
3 weeks after he
Chamber.
showed up.
Yeah, so I want to get to that point.
Mhm.
I thought you guys brought up some very good points. I'll get to the Rock a little bit later.
Okay.
I'm just for me, I sometimes forget the Rock's even a part of this fucking feud. To be honest,
he
Like,
isn't really. He really
So-
isn't.
yeah. So
I actually didn't like that part too. Initially, when they did the heel turn, that's another reason because I'm like, why does The Rock need to be involved in a Cena heel turn?
yeah. So
He
we'll
kind
get
of
to
taking the
we'll get to that
spotlight
in
away.
we'll get to that in a little bit. But the first promo Cena cut, that crowd was insane. The silence was. I thought we were gonna get like something different from him, maybe different gear, whatever, music.
Different music.
He said no. He came out
Mhm.
same
Yeah.
gear, and at first I was like, okay, this is kind of corny. Then he started talking though, and I was like, okay, this man just turned his heel. He turned his theme song heel, and he turned his clothes heel as as well as turned himself heel. He was like, no, you want me. He pretty much said that he was a puppet for all of the fans. He was a whipping post for all the fans. They friggin', abused him. He was in an abusive relationship with the fans for years.
Yeah, let me say something here. He abused us, okay? This guy beat everybody when he shouldn't have beat
Oh, he-
anybody. He always wanted the last, not even a minute. He wanted the last split second. Remember, remember Elimination? I'm sorry, was it Elimination Chamber? It was the night the Edge won. Okay,
Elimination
Oh,
Chamber,
yeah,
but
yeah,
the
no,
night
that was
Cena
New Year's
survived,
Revolution.
okay?
New Year's Revolution.
yeah.
New Year's Revolution.
Kurt Angle was on fire. He was whooping everybody's ass in that chamber. All of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, this guy Cena wins at the very last
Wait.
second.
No,
Yeah.
Cena was playing the role of Triple H, and Angle was playing the role of Goldberg from SummerSlam.
Yeah, well,
Well,
there you go.
Here's the thing I will say about this I like the promo, but I think that at least the first promo, it would have worked. Like the last 10 years, people haven't thought that way about Cena. Cena's been the exact opposite. So what I'm saying is that like when I was the same way in the mid 2000s, the late 2000s, I felt the same way about Cena, about them always booking him to win.
We all
Super
did.
Cena.
We were tired of
Yeah,
seeing the guy.
But from like 2012, 2013 on, people respect Cena. Cena's put a lot of people over.
Well, yeah, because he did the
it
U.S.
doesn't-
Challenge thing, and he went down the mid card, and
awesome.
people were like, "All right, cool. Like we can deal with this now."
Yeah,
no, but
and
then he buried AJ Styles.
I
AJ
don't think
Fuck
he
AJ
I don't think
Styles.
he
The guy
buried-
buries
I don't think he
himself. He's a
buried-
flat earther.
I don't think he buried AJ Styles. that feud was awesome. But
No,
but it's not
no.
about-
Here's the thing I don't like.
Bro,
about the
AJ
Styles
Styles
thing.
has a freaking soccer mom haircut for 10 years. Come on,
Oscar Mom.
What don't you like about AJ? I love AJ. But
No. Oh,
bro. He needs a
AJ
haircut.
AJ
He looks like some fucking
okay,
lady.
I don't care about somebody's hair. I really don't. I'm not gonna get into
Dude, he
semantics
looks
about,
like he's
dumb
so
shit,
burnt.
but
He looks like he hasn't taken a shower in like 5 months.
I
don't know what
love
you're doing.
AJ, but
He looks like
that's unfair.
Pigpen from the Peanuts.
This isn't about AJ. So let me get back onto the elimination chamber, or we'll be here till 2:30 in the fucking morning. So, he comes out, he does this promo, and I liked it, but it just felt like that like if he would have turned heel back in like when like the time he was originally supposed to turn heel, like when they got cold feet and they stopped
It
it
was
like the
during
week
the Rock
before.
feud he was supposed to turn heel,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. And if he would have cut that promo back then, yeah, I think it would even be even better because everybody felt that way currently. But anyway, that promo, the first promo was good. Right. I really enjoyed the first promo. I did.
But
I
it-
thought
What
it
about
was
this? But what about this though?
If he turned heel back when you were talking about, if he would have been a cool heel, everybody would have been, oh shit, John Cena's cool. Even if he's talking shit to us, we're gonna cheer for him because we've
Yeah.
hated him for so long, and now he's just being sort of a bad guy, and we're
Yeah.
not used to it. Like legitimately for me, when Cena first showed up, and not when he first showed up, when he first started doing his like Doctor
African
gimmick, he was over, super over, and
Oh yeah.
He's my favorite wrestler. And I was like, yo, this guy's the best. As soon as he switched from that to like the like hustle, loyalty, respect, I was done. Like not that I disliked him or that I never cared enough to like hate him or to be like, yes, he won. It was just like whatever. Although,
See,
like I
here's
said,
my
there
Well,
was
they made him a hybrid of like a rapper soldier
guy.
guy, and it's like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah, the military thing. He was in the Marine movie. He did the whole. He always came out with the camo shorts.
yeah,
and
it's
the
like, what are you
Like,
doing?
it was. It was
Like-
very. They went away from the original thing that got him over.
Listen, people, they didn't hate him because he turned babyface. They just hated him because he
No.
kept winning all the time. People are like, can you
They
give
booked
someone
him
else
the
a
way-
chance?
He
Yeah.
buried Nexus at SummerSlam.
I would say that
could've
he was
done.
completely over for like as a baby face for like the first for at least the first 5 years of his like championships all the time. People are pretty happy with him winning. But then like it got to the point where maybe not 5 years, a couple
No,
of years.
it was like a year and a half because when he got to One Night Stand, that was the end, man.
No, but here's my thing. Though. Am I the only person who felt that when you turned this man heel after
You!
20 years? They should have made that first heel promo in front of that Garden, New York City crowd. And because remember the one night, because think about it, nobody does a reaction like a New York City crowd. It should have been debuted there. The crowd
I-
reaction to me would have been better.
Right, but they
I
didn't
get
like us that
I
night.
get that. But the thing is they also were going overseas and they knew that they could get a crowd that any overseas crowd just reacts in a different way. They're always going to be loud. They're always going to sing their sing-song
Yeah,
weird.
I hate the overseas crowd. I'm sorry, I hate it.
I
They used to
like the
call him
overseas crowd.
Bizarre World when they would go over there.
Yeah.
I don't like the sing things. That's
Yeah.
Nah, I blame AEW for singing, okay? Because all these stupid idiots
Chris
sang
Jericho-
Fat Jericho's freaking theme song, and now WWE
don't-
guys are like, let's rip that off.
No, I
Yeah,
don't care
it
about
started
singing.
it started when they did that Jericho when they filmed the episode of Dynamite from the Jericho Cruise, and that's how it started.
So
That was
you
the
so
first
you
time.
don't like so wait, you don't like when just the people sing theme songs?
No. I was at the
What-
Garden. They're
what-
singing Cody Rhodes. They're singing CM Punk. I'm like, where am I? Did I buy tickets to a concert?
I mean, but
No, but-
people bought their tickets so they could kind of do what they want to do. Like I don't. I
Yeah,
can't
well,
tell
you know
people to
what?
do
They
with
should
money
shut the
they
fuck
spend.
up sometimes too. How about that?
I don't. I don't.
A lot of these guys should fucking shower before they go to the events too, but they don't.
No, but to me, the international crowds come off.
There
to
was a
me as
guy when
they
I
just
went to
be
the
a
Garden,
star
all
of the
right?
show.
I was at the Garden a couple of weeks ago. There was a guy dressed up as Cody Rhodes with the skeleton on. He literally had his spandex on and everything. You know what security made this guy do as soon as he walked in the building? Hey, go right there where everyone could see you and strip down. The guy had to take all his clothes off in front of everybody as they're walking in the building. He had a cape. He had the fucking the mask, like the skeleton mask.
Why
Oh
did
my
Axel
God.
do
And the
that,
guy
though?
looked
Why
nothing
didn't
like
Ax-
him.
why didn't Ax-
This guy was like 100% Irish,
That's crazy.
balding,
Um.
To
But,
me, the international crowds
That's
kind of
it.
come off.
and he
as
was
they
like
try to
3
be
feet tall.
star of the show.
Wait, what?
They just
No,
come off. No, I just said the international crowd to me kind of comes off as if they just want to be the star of the show. They just come off
Yeah,
as
they
no.
do. They definitely do want to take over sometimes.
Yeah.
But the,
because they don't get it. That's
I
why.
appreciate the enthusiasm of it, but like what I'm talking about is more like when there's a 2 count and then they make that
Yeah.
they do like do blah 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 and they're just they do
Like
it every single time and it's just
Oh yeah. No, the 2
Like,
count
if you-
stuff is stupid. The 2 count stuff's stupid, in my opinion.
Like
but
if you look at
but
like
still-
I don't mind a crowd that's loud and is voicing stuff because you look at the ECW One Night Stand crowd. That was greatest crowd arguably of all times. That One Night Stand crowd.
What do you
But
mean?
they came off as the ECW One Night Stand when they.
What
when
about the
Cena
crowd?
fought,
There were ECW guys acting like ECW guys.
yeah, so I love that crowd.
Right.
But the international crowd, it's like they came off as phony. ECW crowd came off as just.
Well, the international
that's
crowd,
what-
they're all drunk all day. That's why they're singing that shit.
the international crowd's not phony. They're extremely excited and happy to be involved in doing this, but they're also raised in culture where they watch soccer all the time.
Yeah,
they do
it's
is
a lot. It's
chant.
a big different. It's a lot different culture over there.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
huge
that
different.
sing song chant thing is like ingrained in all of their sports, especially soccer. So they do it in like wrestling.
Mm.
They don't get that many events, so when they do, they get all hyped up over it. And
Well,
then
I hope
do
they
it
don't
in-
get WrestleMania. Forget it. You're gonna hear that all night.
And
Oh,
then if
they-
you
Like-
go, and then if you go to like someplace else like Japan, in like Japan,
They are
sports,
silent.
they don't say shit.
Nope, they are silent. To them,
That's like a sign of that's like the way they show a sign of respect. Because I remember a rapper
Yeah.
mentioned it once
They-
when he
they
did a show over
clap.
there.
Yeah, they clap when the spots happen. They
Yeah.
go. They do the reaction of like
Same thing with-
"Ooh,
Yeah, it's the
oh,"
same, yeah. Same thing with baseball, where like they only like react when like because baseball's huge over there.
Yeah.
They only
And-
react when like a home run's hit or a run scored or whatever.
And
So
the-
every culture's different. So I'm not gonna bash people's culture. However you want to you want to twerk in front of the camera when fucking Cody Rhodes comes out. I don't give a fuck. I give two shits. I don't
You
care.
also hear when a Japanese crowd, you hear like the fangirls be like, they'll like every once in a while you hear like a woman like yell out a wrestler's name. Like it's very,
Yeah, that's the most you get over there. But anyway, so then the second promo that he did was the next week.
Oh wait, you
and-
got to talk about him killing the kid. You got to talk about that. You can't.
Well, yeah, that was the set. that was
in
the second promo.
Minecraft,
Oh, that's the second one.
Yeah, that was the second one where the kid was standing in the front row.
I thought
and
that was the first.
maybe it was
I
the.
think
I
it-
don't fucking know.
That's the
Well,
first
and-
one
but yeah,
because he said
Yeah.
this is a dysfunctional relationship.
yeah.
And that kid right there is like, because he was like, he went through all the people that said Cena sucks, and he was like, oh, now I'm going to tell you why the people who say let's go Cena are just as bad as the people who say Cena sucks. And he like, that was a good promo. I mean, it got
Oh,
to the
yeah.
thing where it
No,
was
they-
semi like a therapy session sounding like situation.
Oh yeah.
but
Oh
it
yeah.
was
He
good.
was like, I'm not changing my attire. He was like, you dress like me. I don't dress like you idiots. Like I'm
Yeah.
fucking like that was a great line from that promo. And he called out that kid that was dressed up like him in the front row. That kid looked fucking shocked when they showed him on screen, bro. It was fucking hilarious.
That kid did say that kid recently said that he knew it was in character and he still loves John Cena. And it was
he
like,
broke
it was
kayfabe.
like
Get rid of him.
the highlight of his
Ban
life
him.
sort of thing.
Ban him.
That's the thing too, is that a lot of the Cena promo, at least the first couple, were like, even this one we'll talk about from today, was kind of breaking, like, saying industry terms and stuff like
Very
that.
meta.
I mean, yeah,
Very metal.
yeah. So it was definitely interesting. He then in the second promo said that he was going to go to WrestleMania and he was going to ruin wrestling by winning the WWE Championship and then leaving with the WWE Championship.
Wow, where have we heard this before?
Yeah. They're doing a Summer of Punk with him thing,
Yeah.
where he's the
The
le-
thing-
where
Well,
he-
I know what's going to happen. He's going to beat Cody Rhodes, and right before he walks out of the building, CM Punk's going to come out and beat him.
well, here's the thing. Here's what I think. Now, the way he was talking.
And by
about
the
it,
way,
he was like,
you know who also did this? The Dudley Boys. They said they were going to take the ECW tag team titles and lay them on the desk of Vince McMahon.
yeah,
And they won their last match, and right at the last second, Tommy Dreamer came out and said, I challenge you guys. And they laughed it off, and they were fighting, and then Raven ran in, and Raven and Dreamer beat them at the last second. And they left the
That was
building
also-
empty-handed.
The Cena thing, that was also one of the this like him winning. I'm sorry, like him like saying like, "Oh, you're all against me, and I'm gonna win the title and like immediately retire with or take it with me to ruin wrestling." That kind of made me feel like, oh, maybe he's not gonna win, because if he's talking about how he's gonna like just retire after he wins the title, it makes me feel like, oh,
Well, he-
you abruptly are going to do that. But like, I think what he means is just like, I'm going to win it. Nobody's going to beat me for it. And then I'll end up
There's
retiring.
a way out of it, though.
He
If
said he's going to
if-
retire at WrestleMania when he wins it.
Yeah,
No, but
that's
there
what
is a-
makes me think he shouldn't. Like, I
No,
want him
but
to
then-
win,
Well,
but if he doesn't
that's
win,
like a
No,
heel
here's
thing
the
to get
thing,
you to
though.
watch the show. But I mean,
No, but there's a way around it, though. Because if he tries to do that in character, there's a way around it. It's called CM Punk's favor. That's where the favor.
That's what
come
I'm
into
saying.
play.
Or they could
What-
do
what
this.
did
Or they could do the
Paul
Booker T
Heyman
Hulk
have?
Hogan thing from Bash at the Beach, which never happened. They could do the whole thing
Explain to
where
me-
he wins the
explain to
title,
me how
he retires and
Hogan-
leaves, and then they
Hogan-
crown a new guy, and then Cena gets so freaking agitated that he comes back and challenges the new guy for the undisputed
Explain to
title,
me-
and then we got to watch that shit all over again with two belts.
I
Explain to
believe-
me how Paul Heyman has any ability to suddenly decide, oh, CM Punk is now going to fight John Cena. Like, where does that come from? What?
They're gonna
How
do-
does he have this?
Where-
He's gonna
favor
have to ask The
immediately?
Rock, the tribal
Yeah.
chief.
So we're gonna get to that when we get to the Punk stuff. We'll get into more of that. But with the Cena stuff here, he says that he's gonna be the last world champion or the last real, whatever the fuck he's calling himself, and that he's gonna ruin wrestling. The way he made it sound in this promo,
Is he gonna take it to AEW?
no, the way,
I
the
think
way,
he's taking time off. Is why they're doing
No.
that. He's probably he's gonna be a part-time champion.
the way I see them
In his
doing
final
this-
year, he's gonna be a part-time
if-
champion.
the way I see them doing this, if they really want to make it a heel thing, and they're really bringing up, like, he's really bringing up a lot of the fans' gripes with him over the years and stuff like that. He's got to do exactly what the fans, if they really, it would be terrible for like the viewer, but I think that would be the point, would be to piss us off, and that is, he just goes in there, 5 moves of doom, beats Cody in the middle of the ring, brings out the spinner belt, gives us all the finger, and fucking leaves.
So you're
And-
telling me you'd want him to? pull
Nobody
a Brock
hated the
Lesnar like
spinner
Brock
belt. They
Lesnar
just
did?
hated that other people won it and used it.
It can't. It
No,
can't
a
just
lot of
be the
people
5
hated the
moves
spinner
of
belt.
doom.
I didn't, but a lot of people did. A lot of people felt it was childish and
I
that
thought-
world championship.
Nah, it
should
fit the
be-
gimmick. It was good.
I thought it fit the gimmick, much like his U.S. title did. I thought it fit his gimmick.
But when
it kinda-
Triple H won it, it looked stupid on this guy.
when they had guys walking around it for almost a decade, or no, about a decade. When they debuted that new title, it was like 2014. They
It was
debuted
right
that
after he
title.
beat JBL because JBL kept the original belt and then
Wait,
they
well,
fought
yeah,
over
yeah.
it Judgment Day or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that, but I'm talking about like the belt they have now. They debuted that and like they retired the spinner belt in like 2014. So it was almost a decade they had guys walking around with that fucking thing.
Yeah, I know.
And it's
Yeah,
like
didn't Edge walk around with it at one point. Edge had that title.
everybody.
Fucking
had that
Punk
title.
had it the whole title run that he had. And
Yeah,
he said he hated
yeah,
it.
his whole title run. Yeah, he was trying to
RWK,
get
what's up, buddy? Shout out to the chat
What's
room.
going on,
We
man?
got Anthony in here. We got Nick. We got Wesson. We got Jeff M. We got Hockey Fan. We got Cougar Man, who's it right here on the panel. We got Batman. And we got RWK88. What's going on, everybody? In the
What's going
chat.
on,
All right,
guys?
go ahead.
But no, Punk even said he was trying to get that changed for, as soon as he won it. There was like he was trying to get them, but they weren't listening.
Nah,
But
they weren't
sold-
listening to
the
nobody.
thing- well, the thing was they were selling so many replicas and toys of that fucking belt. That's why they kept it for so long. It was making them so much money, which they still could have sold replicas and toys and not had it, but they figured if it was on TV, it was like a free commercial.
Let me tell you something. I'm happy that Vince McMahon doesn't own this shit anymore for one reason, okay?
Yeah,
They are uploading videos to the vault.
Dude, I love that.
The day of WrestleMania 2000.
I saw that.
They uploaded the day of ECW One Night Stand 2005. Like, that is crazy,
Yeah.
man. That's footage.
So,
Wait, yeah,
We had to
yeah,
wait
we had
20
an
we had to
ECW
wait
channel.
25 years for footage for that one thing, and then we had to wait 20 years for footage from this. Bryant, what's up in the chat? What's going on, brother? Nice to see you, Bryant.
Well, bro, even like the WrestleMania 2000 thing, the backstage interview with like Matt and Jeff after the fucking
The ladder
TLC
match, yeah.
or the ladder, whatever, with the ladder match, that was fucking crazy. Like that was so, like
I
was
know, and
insane.
this wasn't on the DVD that I bought and paid $50 for back in the
No.
day. But they're
No.
finally uploading this. I'm like, wow, thank you. I can finally see this before I leave this planet. Imagine
didn't even
if they
notice I uploaded
upload
the One Night
WrestleMania
Stand.
17 the day of footage. That's going to be crazy.
didn't they put up like highlights from that house show too? From ECW. The
Yeah, they
06
put that whole thing
house
up.
Show. Yeah. Yeah.
I just want the ECW one to come. When are they doing that?
They're going to do an ECW YouTube channel at some point, and that's
They're
going to
doing
be
the WCW one
crazy.
now. They're doing the WCW one now, which is still like Like it's cool they're just putting that stuff. They're making it just easily accessible for anybody. We don't have to have an like everybody uses YouTube, so they're just making this stuff easily accessible for people to be like, hey, I just want to watch this match. All right, boom.
Shout out to
Watch
Bryant.
it.
Bryant, you're a great guy, and I know you're gonna whoop that ass over there. So, good job, buddy.
Hold on, Bryant. But yeah, no, yeah. But anyway, so
So
Cody-
the Cena thing, though, like Cena winning with the 5 moves of doom, like that to me, like when you said that, like it would be great, but it would have to
But
be
would that
after
make
like
Cody look weak?
no, it would be after something would have to happen to Cody prior. Cody
Well,
gets
yeah,
attacked.
well,
Cody,
that's the thing I was gonna bring up too in correlation to that, and then we'll get into the promo from
Cody is
this
fighting
week.
against Peacemaker.
it has to be something shady either from somebody else or Cena, and then Cena does the 5 moves of doom.
No,
Do
but
we
and
still?
then-
I
Yo,
know-
let me tell you something. He's gonna do the springboard stunner, and Stone Cold's gonna run out and stun Cena.
Do we
Am
still?
I the
Think,
only person who thinks that the Rock they're going to make this a no disqualification match? At some
Yeah, they're
point?
gonna do.
Because otherwise-
They're gonna do the
Yeah.
same thing. Only Austin's gonna run in and stun Rock this time because Austin's gonna be there now.
yeah.
Now they're putting
Do
matches
we-
in the Hall of Fame. So there you go.
Do we do like? And we talked about this because I saw you the day after Elimination Chamber, Perry, and we talked about it originally. Do we still think there's a third guy here?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Because that was one of the things we talked about because of the way, like, you know, like he was subtracting the fingers from his throat.
There's
Rock.
it might be some the third finger might show up at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Oh, here's my theory on that. Here's how you could possibly do it. You could kind of combine multiple storylines into one. You could kind of do the modern day version of the 2-man power trip. You could have Seth. I believe he turns heel. My prediction is him and Heyman are turning heel. Because Heyman's a natural heel anyway. I believe Seth is winning the match. He pins Punk. And I believe you could easily have Seth Rollins take the title off of Jey Uso. The crowd is all yeeting. They're all
Fuck
excited.
Jey Uso. Nobody cares about him.
He comes out.
He's an afterthought.
Title. And this way you could have it where The Rock has the titles on both Raw and SmackDown.
The third finger is gonna be Punk.
I'd like to talk about Jey Uso if we have the chance.
Yeah, we will in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about. He's the afterthought, so he comes at the very end, unlike his main event spot.
But
He got the main
Yeah,
event, and he's
so-
not in it.
yeah.
The Royal Rumble is a championship match, not a main event.
No, go back
I
and
think
listen. The winner of the Royal Rumble gets the main event spot at WrestleMania. They say that every time before the Rumble starts.
They do that. And that's why I hate it personally.
They should
I'm not
never
a-
say that.
But they
Well,
did it to
okay, well-
Punk when was it when Jericho went up against Punk? I mean, Jericho didn't win the Royal Rumble, but Punk was technically in the main event against Jericho for the title, but it wasn't featured at the end.
And as Punk always says, if you're not in the last match, you're not in the main event.
Well, now he's in the last match without the belt. So is he really in the main event? And he's
Yeah,
not in the
to me,
last
the
match
main
of the
event
show.
is-
He's in the last match of night one.
Yeah, he
The
is in
main
the last
event
match
is
of the
the
show.
It's the match
So he's
that-
really
that
not in the main
Jericho-
event. He's fooling everybody with that.
Let me ask y'all this. What's the bigger match for Mania? The triple threat or the Cody match?
The Cody match.
Cody match because
Cody
it's Cena.
match. Yeah.
Oh.
And Cena's heel turn. But here's the thing. Let me get back on. I'm gonna get into the Punk stuff in a little bit. I'm just trying to keep this all kind of organized. Then we get to tonight's promo or today's promo because it was in the middle of the fucking day. And this was the promo where they both got to cooking. This was awesome. This is a great. Did you see this promo, Perry?
Yeah, I saw the AEW part.
That's
No,
how you
I
saw
saw
it.
it.
Oh, and I saw a part where
Yeah,
he said something like, "You got dicks, but you don't have any
Huh?
dicks in your shorts" or something.
Yeah, if there was more dick in that promo you just said than you have in your shorts. Or whatever.
Jorts.
Like it was yeah, jorts, yeah.
No, but they also kind of took another shot, I thought, at AEW because Cena said something. Because if you go on their YouTube channel right now, there's a 3-minute clip. And you could tell they were taking a shot at AEW because Cena says something along the lines of, while you were away doing blah, 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 taking money off of kids or whatever the hell he said
A
something,
billionaire's
and then-
kid,
A
meaning
billionaire's
Tony
kid,
Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like, and I thought Cena did a great job, but Cody's comeback was even better because he's like, at least they never chanted "You can't wrestle" in my matches. I
Yeah.
thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, well, Cody even brought up like there was another part where he said, I made a like he was kind of doing the whole thing of like, oh, I'm just gonna make fun of myself before you get a chance to make fun of me." So Cody came out and pretty much said, yeah, I do have an arm tattoo that's on my neck that probably should be on my arm. He was like, I did help create a company where they booed me out of that company. Yeah, I did this, I did that. Like he was like going like pretty much just doing the whole like Eminem and 8 Mile thing. Yeah, making fun of yourself so the guy has no ammo. Yeah. So and it was great. And then Cena, brought up again how he was like the people always said online that for years that I was burying talent and I was burying talent. He was like, no, I bury mediocrity. I don't bury talent.
Well,
I
he buried
personify-
talent.
I'm talent personified.
That's Mr. Kennedy. What
I-
happened to his career?
Yeah.
Wait. So I'm curious. When he said that line, did Wade Barrett
Yeah.
react? Isn't Wade Barrett on commentary? Wade Barrett should have reacted because he buried Nexus.
Who the
at
fuck
SummerSlam.
cares? Nobody cares about Wade Barrett.
The commentary laid out until, which I like, the commentary just laid out and let them go until at the end when Cody said the whole "you can't wrestle" or they never chanted "you can't wrestle," and then
I love that you say nobody cares about Wade Barrett, but you just brought up Mr. Kennedy. Like nobody, like someone gives a shit about Mr. Kennedy.
Nobody
Yeah,
cared
that-
about
yeah.
Mr. Kennedy after he got buried. It was over.
yeah,
He was going to
But-
be the
but
world
he's like-
champion. This guy.
but he also did a little bit of burying himself too with that.
Yeah, he destroyed his own career. But Cena
Yeah.
put the nail in the coffin.
I
Everyone
thought it
knows
was
that.
Orton
What?
Wasn't it Orton that buried Kennedy?
No, here's what happened, okay? Kennedy, during the whole 2007 deal with the man that shall not be named, Kennedy volunteered. He goes, I'll talk to the media. Okay? And this guy was getting a push for the world title. And he's like, I'll talk to the media. Don't worry. He went on all these media shows, said he never took steroids. Sports Illustrated, like, bro, your name's right on the list here.
for steroids. Yeah.
All right.
Was that Balco thing?
I don't
I
know.
think it was. It was a bunch of wrestlers were on the list.
Booker
and
T
he
was
was
on it.
one of
That's
the
why he went to
names.
TNA. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure Orton was on it too. I think Orton was on that list.
well, listen. He was on the list. His career was done. Vince said that his son was Hornswoggle instead of Mr. Kennedy,
yeah.
and that was it. Okay? Then Orton and Kennedy had a match, and he almost dropped Orton on his neck.
That was the
Cena
night
was
where they
watching
came
in Gorilla, went right to Vince and said, "We're firing this guy tonight." And Orton went back there and says, "I agree." And then that was it. He was done. I mean, he sucks anyway. But I'm just saying, like, he's buried people.
That was the night that they all came out with those basketball jerseys on because it was the whole like issue they had with the
And
Denver
yeah, I
Nuggets.
think it was
And he
All-Star
buried
Game.
JTG.
Yeah.
Well, JTG says everyone buries him, so who the hell knows?
Yeah. But yeah. So then, then Cody says that they never chanted that I couldn't wrestle. Cena gets offended. He acts like he's gonna attack Cody. Then stops and tries to cheap shot Cody. Cody hits him with the crossroads and leaves him laying in the middle of the ring. If you haven't watched this promo, I recommend you do. It's great. It's great work by both of them. The crowd was great. They were great. Everybody was. The whole thing was great. I loved it. It was the best one of the promos so far because Cody actually got time to talk. The first two were mostly just Cena talking for the majority of it, which I
Right.
get. But this one was like really like they were just going back and forth, and it was really fucking good.
I'm curious if I could ask. I need to ask a question about this Cena thing. Is anybody else annoyed by the lack of?
The lack of what?
That he broke
Like
up.
What did you say? The lack of what?
He just said the lack of what he broke up. Like he didn't.
He's not even talking now. So
Yeah, I think he might
He's got to get his phone. You got to fix your phone, buddy.
Yeah. It cut off
The-
like right at that time where he was about to get into the point. It was just such odd timing.
So like Cena being like I don't know, I like the Cena thing so far, but like what you were saying about the line about Cody saying how they haven't said that he can't wrestle, like they haven't said it yet, but you know, like crowds are fickle. Like baby
Oh, yeah.
faces only last so long.
Oh yeah.
Are you back, MILF
Especially-
man?
That's why I think maybe, you know, him losing the title and chasing again might be helpful for him. He's had it for a while now.
Yeah. Milkman, if you're talking, we can't hear you. I don't know if your mic cut out or if it's your connection. You might need to restart your phone. Okay. I would just restart Discord and your phone and everything.
His avatar is funny.
But yeah, so but yeah, no, I like where I get your points there too. We'll have to see what happens. It really could go either way, and I like that we kind of don't know where they're gonna go with it. But and there's still a little bit more. Now I think that this was Cena's last advertised appearance before Mania, at least from what I know.
Right. He's
Stuff
gonna
could
restart his
change.
phone. He said,
Okay.
not Cena, the MILF man.
Yeah. I don't know if there's gonna be like they might be keeping a surprise appear. I don't know. Maybe we're gonna get The Rock next up until Mania. I don't fucking know.
Well, maybe they'll do
But-
a surprise appearance where he beats the shit out of Cody like Rock did last year.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But I'm all for it. Hopefully it delivers, and I'm very hopeful.
Can I ask
for
you
that.
something?
What's up?
Why is Mr. Cena cutting promos on fans at like events?
I don't know.
I don't like. He's always sort of been pretty outspoken.
Well,
because
people are
he's,
like, why'd your son turn? I don't know. You have to ask my son why he's turned, and you need to get away from me right now. It's like, shut up.
Isn't he a
This
promoter?
guy, yeah, he's always trying to shoot his own angle off his son. It's annoying.
Well, I mean, that's what like I don't blame him. If you're got a way to like leech off like your ultra famous child, like
Yeah, but he should
It's
say, I don't know.
awesome.
I don't know what's going on over that asshole doesn't talk to me anymore. he would help turn him heel more.
I think probably John at this point has probably told him to.
He's turning
Say
heel with
what?
his son, this guy.
Yeah. But yeah, we can transition into the once if Milfman gets his stuff working again, then he can kind of just chime in when he boots back up. We can get kind of into the CM Punk stuff. Now, from what they said on SmackDown, it's now CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and in a triple threat. And according to the contract signing, Paul Heyman said that Punk was in the main event with this. Now, you don't think they're actually in the main event, Perry? Is that what you said?
Well, I mean, technically, he's night one. At the end
Yeah,
of the night
it's
with
the
no
night one main
title. I
event.
mean, is that really the main event?
I mean, it's the
See,
fight.
this is exactly what I'm talking about. Is like you're being like well, is this the main event? And if it doesn't have the title, well, it's either the main event is at the end of the night or it's not. Like the whole complaint about it is that it's I'm not the closing the show, so it's not the main event. Well, like I don't get it. Like to me, like if the main event is the most popular matches, is the matches that are going to draw the most interest. It's not about a title match. It has to be about.
Yeah, that's
what people
bullshit.
want to see them in.
Rock and Austin was always for the title when they were on top in the main event at WrestleMania. You
Yeah,
didn't see
but-
Vince McMahon go, hey, you know what? We're gonna put Triple H and fucking Owen Hart in the main event for the European title.
You're talking about something, and in a time period where there was only one main event. There's not only one main event now. You have two separate nights. So therefore, you don't you.
Well, they're
you're-
not two
you're-
separate WrestleManias now, are they?
But your Rock versus Stone Cold for the title is there because it's Cody versus Cena for the title. We're talking about another main event. So, do you believe that the other main event should be Gunther versus Jay?
No, because it sucks.
Okay, so that's because you don't. Now, is it because of both of them? You don't, or you're not interested? Do you not like Gunther?
No,
Do you
they're not
like
doing
Jay?
shit with these guys. Gunther's fucking attacking this guy every day on TV. It's boring.
I don't know. I thought tonight, like
The
what
stuff
happened
they
tonight was pretty
the stuff they
crazy.
did the stuff they did today.
Well,
was good.
obviously the company doesn't give a shit because they're not making that the main event for night one.
Here's what I will say. Again, I have a Punk bias, even though I do call him out when I need to call him out, but I do have a Punk bias. So I'm not gonna say anything bad about CM Punk. Just not. I'm being upfront.
We can't.
I've always been.
He's done
upfront.
nothing wrong.
But no, but what I'm saying is that I'm also not gonna say that his match, that's the last match, is not the main event. It's just because it is.
He's going to
It's the
close
most
out night
important
two. He's going to show up at the very end and beat John Cena for the belt. I'm telling you.
He's main eventing night one.
He's
They're
the
probably
he's the
gonna open
AEW
night
champion still. He's going to win. He's going to win the
They're probably gonna
WWE title and AEW title.
They're probably going to open night one with Jey Uso versus Gunther. Then they'll probably end night one with the triple threat match. And
Milkman, is that you?
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry, I had to reset my phone.
No. Welcome back.
No, thank you.
Welcome back.
Get rid of the
but
iPhone.
We just got into the CM Punk stuff. We're just getting into CM Punk, and Rollins and Reigns. But how do you feel about that closing the show, Milfman? Because we kind of already said our piece on it while we were waiting for you to boot back up. How do you feel about that triple threat closing night one?
I personally don't like. I'm happy that Punk is finally getting his main event, but I don't like it because for like two reasons. Number one, it renders the Royal Rumble absolutely worthless once again. Because I feel the Royal Rumble has been worthless for years. Because if you think about it, when was the last time the Rumble winner main evented Mania that was not named Cody or Roman? Really? When was the last time?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Like, I
Because
just
it's like,
don't care.
but yet they keep doing the whole, the main event spot at WrestleMania if you win the Royal Rumble. But yet they never main event the show.
They
And
should
then-
word it. We talked about this. They should word it. The way they should say it is that they get a championship match at WrestleMania. That's the
Yeah.
way it should be said. It shouldn't be said main event because then we get into all the semantics over when the main event is, who is in the main event, how many main events there are. It's
Well,
it's just
WWE's done this
stupid.
for years because at WrestleMania 29, they said it was a triple main event.
Yes,
And they
to me,
told
it
Punk
doesn't
when you were
matter.
fighting Undertaker, you were in the main event. And he's like, I wasn't in the fucking main event.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. The only thing that it really matters to are the fans that obsess over it and the wrestlers that seem to obsess over it, which I don't see why many of them really care that much. What they should care about is being on WrestleMania.
You see, I think because it's the last thing. Usually, the lasting image is the champion holding up the title. Very few guys get that spot.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
spot very few guys get.
the triple threat matches, nobody's holding up any title at the end of that triple threat match.
Well, that's
it's
true.
just-
But
It's just
But
night
it's
one
like-
of a triple threat match between three of the biggest wrestlers in the company. Like,
Yeah.
I see that as the main event because of the star power of it. It's not the main event because it's like the stakes are the highest. Like if the whole title thing, you win the Royal Rumble and you get the title shot and it's the main event, like it should just be a title shot. And I don't think people should get worked up over the fact that it's a title shot on the start of WrestleMania or in the middle or at the end. It doesn't matter. They're on WrestleMania, they're getting a title shot. In the end,
Oh, no,
they
you-
should be competing to get the title shot to win. It like the whole I get the main event spot or I got screwed over for it. It's like who cares? Like I don't know why people care so much.
oh no, I agree. No, you make great points. My only other issue would be at some point you got to make this title worth something. This title is worth less than a penny. It was
No,
considered a consolation prize
wrong.
when they first brought it in.
Seth Rollins made that title important.
No,
it
it
just
didn't.
hasn't been
They
that
still
important.
looked at it as
until-
a consolation prize. It was still looked upon as a consolation prize.
They've
Because Roman didn't want to
they've
drop the
always
title.
Yeah, it's because
They-
Vince McMahon didn't know how to book wrestling. That's why.
yeah,
I
and
don't,
then-
I don't agree with that.
they've
I like
always
it's
made
they
the
need
second.
a title at another. They need a title on Raw and a title.
Yeah,
on
they had the
back.
Intercontinental title. Make it look pretty and worth it, and then people will go for that one. You should have
They always
Intercontinental
treat-
title and WWE title, okay?
They always
The
treat
fucker wins the
secondary-
IC title, main
Yeah.
events that brand, then he goes for the world title when he's ready.
They
And
always
then
treat
the way-
they always treated the secondary world title as the lesser title.
They
When
always
it was the
have.
big gold belt. It was the lesser title.
And when Triple
it
H
was-
had it on Raw in 2002, Raw was doing shit ratings. So
No, but
I
then I look
understand
into
it being the lesser title or being seen as the lesser title, but in the end, it doesn't mean that it's worthless. It just means that it's not. The
it is
title that
worthless
No,
because
but
they'll
here-
merge it
no,
again
but
and get
here-
rid of it, and then they'll bring back another
No, but
title.
here's the- because if you look at it last year, who cared about the world title match last year at WrestleMania?
I don't even
Who
remember
cared
it.
about that Rollins had and dropped. Nobody talked.
Oh yeah,
about
he had a
whatsoever.
broken leg. Yeah, he lost it to Drew, and then
He
Drew
was
lost it to
injured,
fucking who? Sheamus.
Like
No, that was
can't
when Drew-
revisionist history. You can't
Priest,
revisionist
cashed
history,
in.
Who won
but
it?
you can't
It's 2
revisionist
years in a row,
history
though.
and
Damian
go,
Priest.
"Oh,
Damian
Damian Priest won it.
When Punk
No, but
can't
it's
be
2
like-
years.
That
in a row
opened a
that they
show
go
too. Can you
into-
believe it? The belt didn't even main event night one.
But you can't be like nobody cared about it like after the fact when it was obviously a hot angle, and on top of that, the guy who had the title was injured. Like we're not
Yeah.
going to talk.
Well, what
about
about
a match-
McIntyre? He won it and lost it in 2 seconds.
Obviously, that
Well,
was
that was the
that's
build
build of
with
this
stuff
entire
with Punk. That
match.
was the build of stuff with Punk. So
Yeah.
which led to one of the best feuds of last year.
Exactly, and it also has
If not the
has
best.
furthered into a feud that has brought them into this match at WrestleMania, which was a complete throwaway match until they gave McIntyre the microphone, and he made it at least worthwhile with his whole that vignette that he did where he
Yeah,
explained.
Seth Rollins is just a midget version of Drew McIntyre. We all know it.
Oh my god!
You're, I can't.
Wait,
I
so
can't
you hate
understand this.
Seth
No,
as well? too?
Yeah, let's
here's
get
no-
2
here's
guys
the
that
thing.
look the same,
No.
only one's shorter,
No,
and put them in
no.
a match together.
So
Like,
here's the
come
thing,
on.
And you
Oh my
agreed with
God,
me.
he's a
You
white
agreed
guy
with
that
me. You agreed with me last year, Perry. So don't BS it or nothing like that. That he
What?
was the MVP. He was the MVP of WrestleMania last year.
Who was?
Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins. He was all on one fucking leg. You agreed with me when I brought it up. He was on one fucking leg for half the
Well, yeah,
fucking show.
because
didn't
he
walk.
was okay. Because Rock came back and did the match with them.
By your standards, every wrestler with long hair and a beard looks exactly the same. Like
Bro, these
That's the
guys look
dumbest
exact.
thing.
One looks like a midget version of the other one.
no,
I-
they
And
Perry
the
said, why
the
you
one
hate-
who's the
why you hate
bootleg
Kevin
version of the
Owens?
guy is married to an Irish lady. Just like this guy's Irish or Scottish, whatever the hell he is.
Oh my God, Perry.
Wait,
But-
but you hate how Kevin Owens look, and he looks different to them.
Yeah, fuck Kevin Owens, a fat slob. He's probably at McDonald's right now eating food.
I'm glad you mentioned
But-
Kevin Owens. I'd rather not hear him talk about Seth Rollins anymore.
But
Dude, they're doing Kevin Owens with Randy Orton again.
I
How many
did
times are you
find-
gonna do this shit?
I did find it funny. And this
Why
this
is Kevin
back on
Owens
the
in
Punk
like
stuff.
fucking repeat matches every year? He's fighting Sami Zayn every fucking night. Then he's fighting Randy Orton at WrestleMania all the fucking time.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know why they're doing that match again.
Just fire the
doing it
guy.
again.
Let him go to
Kevin
AEW so he can be with his
Kevin-
boyfriends over there. Nobody cares about this
No,
guy.
but I think Kevin Owens
Very
has got to be
obvious why they're
taking.
doing that
Kevin
match.
Owens has got to be.
Moxley
taking
probably
time
wants to stick a hamburger up Kevin Owens' ass when he gets to AEW.
Very obvious why they're
That's
doing
the
that
reason-
match. The reason why they're doing the KO versus Randy Orton is because Randy Orton and KO both need a WrestleMania match, and KO had been pushing his pile driver, the band pile.
Nah, nobody
driver,
gives a shit. He's a fat fucking slob. No one gives a fuck if he does a pile driver.
I like Kevin Owens. I
Yeah,
know.
same. I know
Let me
Perry,
finish
Perry
my
has this
food.
asphyxiation with Kevin Owens for some reason. Don't know why.
Wait, Perry, have you been hanging out with Jim Cornette or something? Because both of y'all hate this guy.
Because
I don't
he's
know
a
who he-
fucking fat
Yeah.
slob. His hair sucks. Everything sucks about this guy. He looks like a drunk.
Oh man. But
He looks like one of those fat fucking slobs in the front row of the wrestling events, and he jumped in the ring. He's always got to do the goddamn stunner, and he does it horribly. It's like he's literally the fan that's in the front row. He does the moves like he would with the wrestling. It's horrible. He's horrible.
well, I'll laugh.
The guy looks like a fucking a porcupine with a haircut.
It's literally only you that thinks that.
He's
but
got to change his look. He's like
Yeah.
AJ Styles. You got to change your look up every once in a while. These guys look like shit.
But anyway, I want to get back to the discussion about.
No,
Punk,
send him to
because we can
AEW.
just-
Tony Khan likes to hug these fucking guys. Let him hug Kevin Owens. He's gonna hug Kevin Owens. All the cheeseburgers are gonna fucking fall out of his pants.
See, I can say like 4 or 5 things right now, but no one on this panel right now wants to take the show to the next level at all.
Yeah, say it.
Like I would no,
Say it.
no. I would. I'm not.
Send
gonna
him
say
down to
it. I'm
AEW.
not gonna say. I am not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
He
But
could fight
anyway,
Moxley at Popeyes.
We're gonna. Jesus Christ.
They could do a fucking Denny's match at fucking AEW with Moxley.
I would say about Punk, he's doing some of his best promo work, and like his emotion.
There was nothing ever wrong with CM Punk. He went to AEW and dealt with a bunch of fucking idiots down there. That's what happened.
Well, I do find it funny. I do find it funny that I saw the whole thing happen with McIntyre, like the spot on Raw, and I was like, oh, I just jokingly said to myself, I wonder if that was real glass. And then,
You know what Punk should have said when he walked by him? He should have walked by and said, "Cry me a river," and fucking walked away.
Oh my gosh.
Well, he walks by him, and then Drew goes on Twitter is like, damn, that was real. I got real glass in my eye or something. And then USA Network responds with, there's a Justin Timberlake song that's coming to my head because Justin Timberlake had a song "Cry Me a River." And I'm like,
Oh
Jesus
man!
Christ. They
But
I
that's
was like,
what you call making money, right?
that's
That your fucking midget MVP
they're
EVPs
all-
down there don't understand what they're doing.
they're all in on it. It's just
Yeah, and
like,
they're making money.
yeah.
Isn't that funny,
no.
Nick?
Yeah, I already said my comments on the whole situation with that, and about how I felt like, even if like Drew and even Seth with Punk and everything like that, they've put all their shit to the side just to do good
Dude,
business.
Seth is a CM Punk mark, okay? He pretends like he hates him, but he loves that guy.
Oh well, no, I think they're good now, but I think there was animosity, which he has.
I
every
don't
right
think
to
so.
feel
I think it was all
animosity.
fucking manufactured shit.
No, I
think
think he
there's
felt.
nothing real
I think he
animosity.
felt. I think he felt some animosity, but they're fucking grown adults and they put their shit to the side and they're gonna fucking make money off of it.
They're already
So who gives
making a
fuck?
ton of money together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they're doing great. They're doing great work together. They worked so well together. Both in that match they had on fucking Raw, great. The promos they've had, great. Punk worked great with McIntyre. Like the work Punk's been doing, not just in WWE, but since he came back to AEW, like this 2021 to now stuff he's doing is some of the best stuff of his career.
I
It
know
is.
that, but you
Yeah,
would tell
right.
you would think the people
Well,
down
I'm
there
curious
would
then,
listen.
What was the better match though? The first Punk match or the second one with
For
Seth?
what? For what?
With Seth. No, with Seth. The 2 matches he had with Seth, which one was better?
Well, this one at the Garden, they technically didn't end it
Yeah.
because this guy ran
Yeah.
in.
But that match was great though. Like how was that seeing that live, Perry? That whole experience.
It was good. Here's the thing with the WWE right now, okay? When you went when McMahon owned it, it felt more like a wrestling show, like a spectacle.
Yeah.
Now when you go, it's just wrestler comes out, get in ring. Wrestler leaves ring. Next wrestler comes out. Like it doesn't give you that vibe that it's like a wrestling show. It's literally a TV show now.
Yeah.
And then you see all these fucking commercials and the gambling commercials. And it's like, wow, this has really changed from the last time that I've been here. I mean, it's a completely different, when it's on TV, it's a better TV product. But when you watch it live, when you're there, it's like,
It's just like rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Like
yeah, it's like you're just going through the motions. Like, there's no,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like a wrestling show. It just feels like a show that you went to, like you're watching a movie or something.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Perry, is there anything they do? Because I haven't been since like 2000, I think 4 or 5 or whatever. But whenever it was that Eminem won the tag team titles was the last time I've been there.
Holy shit.
But because they won it at the Garden, I remember from Eddie.
You didn't go to Survivor Series 2011?
No.
Okay.
The last pay-per-view I've been to.
That was the last time I was
20,
there.
Unfortunately. WrestleMania 20 is the last pay-per-view I've ever been to.
Oh man, that sucks.
So I'm curious, is there anything they do better live? Like, was there anything that was better?
Well, the fact that Vince wasn't there, that was good.
Yeah, you probably got a better show than you would have got if it was still a Vince Raw.
Well, if Vince was there, we wouldn't get Punk versus Rollins in a fucking cage, nonetheless.
Yeah.
So I mean, there you go. We already got something good there. The music, I'm telling you, these fucking wrestlers have the worst goddamn music known to man.
Death
Okay?
Rebel should be arrested.
I
Death
felt like I
Rebel
went
should be
to a
arrested.
fucking club. I'm sitting there
Definitely.
watching it, and I'm like, am I in a club?
The problem.
The
is a lot of
music,
wrestlers.
the music has no
sounds the same.
identity with these guys.
Yeah, you don't know who's coming out. Like,
It's fucking horrible.
Death
Like,
We
Rebel-
didn't know who was coming out. We were like, who's this? Who's that? Who's that? When we used to go, if fucking Lance Storm came out and you heard the little fan against the fucking speaker, like we were, okay, that's Lance Storm. Like he had the worst music ever in the world. But we knew, okay, that's who that is. That's who this is.
They gotta get. They gotta get the.
They would come to the ring and cut promos and shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they don't really do
What
that
I wanna
stuff
know is
anymore.
Why did they change Roman's theme? He had a perfect theme before, and then
Who
this
the fuck
remix
cares?
version
Fuck him.
sucked.
Because
No,
it-
his
it's-
themes, like the remix sucks, in my opinion, of his theme.
Death Rebel, the people who are making the music now, are terrible. They are. I don't use that word like. I don't use that word like ever so often. Like they're bad.
Dude,
And
they
I'm pretty
didn't
sure
at the
they're-
Garden back in the day. They would say, "Okay, when the screen goes off, that means we're at commercial."
Oh yeah, they used
All right, they don't even
Yeah.
do that anymore. You're just watching, and then you just everything's going, and then you see a commercial, and you're like, "Okay, I guess we're at commercials right now." Like Cody Rhodes was in the ring because he came to talk.
Yeah.
He came out, he did, and then the lights go out. And we're like, "What the fuck happened?" And then they're playing like 10 minutes of ads, and he's in the corner, fucking sitting there in the dark. And then they put his music up, and the lights come on, and then we're back on because they're acting like the music played the whole time. It's like, no, it doesn't play the whole time.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought the set music was playing the whole time.
No.
Because that's the way it came off on TV, was that it was like playing the whole time.
No, they cut him off. He was in the ring, fucking with no lights on, and then all of a sudden his music
When they
hit.
come back from commercial, yeah.
Yeah, but they show an ad right when they turn his music on, so that when they cut back, it looks like his music's been playing the whole time.
Yeah.
They do these stupid tricks, and they don't tell us. Just the lights go out, and then it's like, well, the entrances. It's like light shows and shit like that. It's like, wow, what's going on here? This is completely. This is a completely different company. The way it's run now.
For me, the Netflix product, like I do like the format of the show. I will say, like, I don't need 20 minutes of like crowd shots of people like selling some Netflix show, or I'm some random rapper I've never heard of, or
Yeah, I hate
whatever.
that
Like,
shit.
Well,
it's
the thing
way
is,
too much.
that there's some people that are there a lot that are like genuinely fans, like a lot of the celebrities.
Yeah,
that show up.
Macaulay
A lot
Culkin and his brother were there.
Culkin, yeah, and then a few
Well,
others
I'm
that
fine with
show up.
that.
But they've been fans. They've been fans for years, so they've always
It's,
showed
it's
up. But
not.
but the
I'm
thing-
not talking about.
They
Macaulay
talked to
Culkin.
some
I'm talking
guy.
about-
yeah,
When I was there, they talked to some guy. I don't know if he's a baseball guy. He was an old fucking guy. I'm like, I don't know who is this guy.
I don't remember.
They didn't even say who he
Um,
was.
But
Wait,
the
didn't
thing,
they talk? Wasn't that the episode they talked to a comedian in the front row, Andrew Schultz?
Is that guy a
yes.
comedian?
oh, Andrew Schultz, the guy with the mustache.
Dude, he looked like he was
Yeah,
from the
he's a- yeah,
70s.
that's a
What the
comedian.
fuck was this guy wearing?
He's a stand-up.
That
He's a
That
stand-up.
guy is famous.
He
That guy's
just
pretty
sold his stand-up special. He sold out the Garden. That's why he was there. He had a Netflix special.
But nobody
where
knows
it was
who
at
he
the Garden.
is.
Yeah,
And AJ
yeah.
Styles is defending it. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
The wrestling crowd doesn't know who he is 100%.
But that's the problem. Like Vince would
particularly
kind of
like
put
him
somebody there
for
that
other
you would
reasons.
know.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too: is you got to remember this too: is that TKO, their parent company, is a talent agency, and a lot of these talents that are there are their clients. So they're all William Morris Endeavor clients. So they're all just they're either being told, "Hey, just come here to promote your shit," and
Well, that's the
whatever.
thing. It's corporate wrestling. It's what Vince McMahon
Yes.
always shit on Ted Turner for. Because remember, WCW had the monster truck sponsorships and everything.
Yeah,
But is that like that's not all of it, because obviously it's Netflix too being like,
oh yeah,
here's
100%.
a show about housewives that like are whatever it is. Like
Well, that's
there
how the
was
whole
one, there was one that they showed, and it was like four women that like four like indistinctive women that like could have been like any random woman from like anywhere, and
Yeah.
it was like some Netflix show, and they had the camera on them for like a minute and a half, and I'm just like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I don't need to see this.
Well, that's the thing too, and that's why the Netflix partnership worked so well. From a business standpoint, is because a lot of I'm pretty sure I read
listen.
something
I like
online
when
that-
I watch the show on TV. I like it because there's quick matches. It's like it
Yup.
was in the old days.
Yeah,
I'm not
and it's just
watching
there-
45-minute fucking matches with 1,000 kick out. I'm watching a fucking match. They move on.
yeah,
That's what
and
I like.
then
But when you're there, it's so
just feels-
robotic.
I think it's overproduced.
It's just a TV show when you're there.
Yeah,
You're in the
yeah,
live audience. That's all it is.
yeah,
You don't feel like you're part of the show anymore, like with the McMahons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alright,
I
so I'm
don't think
curious,
I
though, what
would
the-
want to
what
be
the
at a
crowd in-
live event, like a
Wait,
live
what-
Raw. or a
I would
live
rather watch it on
SmackDown.
TV instead of going,
Like
but I had to
a
go.
house show or a pay-per-view would be like the more way to go about it.
Alright, so I'm
Yeah.
curious, Perry. Is like the crowd different from back in the day as compared to now? How was the crowd comparison? How would you compare the crowd now
I-
as compared to back in the day?
They weren't
I
as
don't-
rabid.
no, I know the crowds now. Even the crowds now,
And I don't know if that's because they're all like potted out. The place smelled like pot and farts. The garden had never smelled like that before. You're laughing, but it's kind of annoying because I have to smell that shit all day, and so do the kids down in the front row. But that's okay.
Well, the thing is too is that well, at least from what I can tell from at least the last I think it like the post the post 2020 era of WWE, and especially the post Vince era of WWE. They're getting extremely popular. They're very popular. They're selling a ton of tickets. They're
well, the ticket prices are going through the fucking ceiling.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
500.
And by the way, Eric Bischoff did a thing defending the high ticket prices. But this guy's upset that all the other prices are going up. Oh, my eggs. Oh, this, that. But he's justifying
my eggs,
expensive wrestling tickets. I'm like, dude, do you fucking hear yourself?
not my eggs. My eggs.
Oh, eggs are expensive today, Conrad, right? Oh no, those WWE tickets, yeah, they're expensive, but that's good.
Wait,
Bro,
how does somebody
pick a fucking
justify
lane. What are you
8,500
in?
for the Hall of
I know you're old as shit, but pick a lane. Either shit's
Fame?
expensive or it's
8,500
not.
for the Hall of Fame, and somebody defends that.
Who?
No, I'm saying who defends $8,500 tickets for the Hall of Fame?
Well, here's the
Eric
thing, too,
Bischoff.
and this is what I will say. They're saying that the WrestleMania is having trouble selling tickets.
Yeah, because they're
that
$1 million fucking dollars to
yeah,
sit in the fucking
yeah.
bleachers.
No, but
Yeah.
the thing is that people have been blaming Jey Uso for that because Rikishi came out and defended him.
Well, Rikishi, Rikishi got him in the main event. Didn't you know that?
Blaming Jay. But,
He tweeted Triple H. He tweeted Triple H in January and said, "You're not doing nothing with my son. You better start doing stuff with him." And then he makes him win the Royal Rumble. So you could thank Rikishi. And this is why Triple H needs to be fired as the booker, and he will be fired. Rock is
I
counting the
agree. Thank you,
days,
Rock.
buddy.
Well, you don't like Triple H? As the
They're
booker?
putting Triple H in the Hall of Fame again this year for a reason, because they're getting rid of him.
You don't like Triple H as the booker?
No,
Hell no.
Why not?
The
because
guy
he's
can't
Triple
book it.
H.
What stars he made since he took over? The guy can't make stars. He's beyond.
What
he
happened to that
booked
guy,
somebody-
Montez Ford? That was his number one guy in NXT. Now he
Why-
doesn't want to talk to this guy.
But here's the thing. Let me ask. And we'll stay on this for a very brief moment because I'm not going to get into a roundabout circle. argument with
Wait.
this. No,
Who
here-
here knew that Rikishi was running things from behind the scenes? He's like the
Rikishi was
true
tweeting every
public
fucking
influence.
day. I'm going to get involved. This must stop. I will be on TV tomorrow. And he never shows up. And then when
Nobody gives a
his
shit.
son wasn't getting
Everybody
pushed,
should
he tweeted Triple H, "Hey, you're not pushing my son." 3 weeks later, he wins the Royal Rumble.
well, here's
it was definitely about Rikishi and not the fact that
I'm
he
telling
got
you,
over.
he did tweet. You can
Okay.
find it online.
Who cares what's online that he said in a tweet?
The
It doesn't
problem
mean
is
that
he's
that's
listening to
what happened.
Rikishi. Why are you listening to Rikishi for? He's not your booker. That's like Tony Khan listening to Jericho. Like, what do you fucking listen to him for?
But you also said that you like the way the shows are booked now, and he's the one booking them.
He's not the one booking him.
He is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
He's got a team. Come on, he's got the D-Generation
well,
X
yeah.
guys helping him. He just
Well,
hired
yes,
X-Pac again. Can you believe that?
but the thing is that isn't that what a good booker does though? Is put people around him that actually know what the fuck
Nah,
they're
he
doing.
puts his boyfriends around him, just like Tony Khan.
Well,
Nah,
he
man,
works
you-
with people that he.
I've
actually
had my
likes.
criticism of Triple H. You know that for a fact.
Nah, they're gonna get
but
rid of him.
I gotta call,
The
I
Rock
gotta
wants
call a spade a
revenge.
spade. I gotta call a spade because I gotta be fair. So I gotta call a spade a spade.
Let me tell you something.
Like,
By
he's
the
been-
end of
he's
this
been- he's
year,
been good.
he's not going to be working there anymore.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm talking about right now. I don't give a fuck about the end of this
And The
year.
Rock is going to
it's
put
been-
Nick Khan in the position with Rikishi.
No. If he does, it wouldn't shock me because The Rock, from a business standpoint, is kind of clueless. So it wouldn't shock.
You just, Perry, you just say shit to sound absolutely insane sometimes.
They're going to put him
like-
in.
Rikishi is suddenly going to be in charge.
Triple H's already listening to him. So what they got to pay Triple H for, right?
Yes, yes.
So you could guarantee he won't be in by the end of the year. Is that what you're saying?
I don't work there. I can't guarantee anything, but I'm just saying,
Well,
I don't think he's going to be there by the end of the year. There's a
Well,
reason
then
why they're
let's
putting him in the
do-
Hall of Fame right now. So he could go in by himself, and then they're going to give him a pink slip.
I
They do this
think
to
it's because they
everybody.
didn't have anybody out.
They did it to Sting. They put him in the Hall of Fame and said, "Hey, we don't fucking need you no more. You're out of here."
Yeah, and Sting was running the company at the time too.
Because people were blaming Jey Uso after he won the Rumble. People were like, oh, it's because Cena didn't win the Rumble. That's why.
No,
That's what-
it's
what-
because of
what
that
he
tweet
said.
Rikishi made to Triple H. You can look for this tweet. He flat out said, "You're not using my son."
About a tweet. Who cares about a tweet from Rikishi?
Because 3
Like,
weeks
it
later,
means-
his son wins the Royal Rumble that he was complaining about online. That's what I'm saying. Like there's something there.
So it's obviously connection. Obvious connection.
If if Otis's dad fucking tweeted at Triple H, "Why is my son not winning the Royal Rumble?" Otis would have fucking won the Royal Rumble.
Sounds like Seth Rollins' dad needs to tweet at him.
I don't know.
But yeah. So
Is that
well,
why Cena got the championship
we-
match? Just because his dad tweeted?
Probably his dad's all over the fucking place, turning heel with him.
yeah, his dad got a promo at his promotion.
He's cutting promos with random fans. Have you been seeing YouTube?
No, I saw the clips on Twitter.
He's screaming at fucking kids and shit. Like, what the hell is it? What's wrong with this guy? He's trying to write himself into the storyline.
But
Why don't you
You-
use the Jay talk as a segue to talk about how Jay, because he just said Jay is the reason people aren't going to go to WrestleMania.
yeah, well, we kind of briefly touched on the whole Jay thing about the whole him being in the main event. But I thought the same thing, like Perry. They were kind of treating this like an afterthought, which is a shame because both these guys are good. I like Jey Uso. I like Gunther. the
Gunther
way they're
deserves
booked-
better.
The way they're booking him, the booking this is not what wasn't really catching me until the stuff they did tonight or today, whatever it was on Raw. I love the shit they did with Gunther and Jay and him beating up Jimmy. It was crazy seeing that shit because he was getting the shit kicked out of him.
That was the first time that they used Jimmy that I wasn't like annoyed with,
yeah.
because I mean, I can tell you, if they try to make Jimmy like the U.S. champion or something like that, I'm gonna fucking go insane, because I do not need both of them having titles. They're not talented enough to both be singles champions. Just because we're pushing one doesn't mean we have to push the other.
Yeah, his dad's gonna tweet again. You're not using
Well,
my
see,
other
now-
son.
Well, see now, Sean, if Rikishi does tweet and then Jimmy wins the U.S. title, then you gotta maybe Perry's
I
on
will
to
admit
something.
it. I will. If Rikishi tweets about him winning the U.S. title and he wins, I will say
Yeah.
Perry is absolutely right. The other thing, so the thing I will say that Perry is right about is this: Gunther is way better than Jey Uso. Like, Jey
Yeah, why is he
Uso
even in this
over
feud?
with the fans.
It's
I
not
get
fair
it.
to
I get
Gunther.
He's over with the kids. He has the popular phrase. I understand why he's popular, and he's not for me, but I get who he's for.
Yeah, but
But, like-
here's the thing. I think that they could have a good feud It's the way they're abusing them in the way.
Yeah,
they're
but that's
booking
a
it is
feud
the
for
problem
like
I have.
SummerSlam. That's not a feud for WrestleMania.
So you don't think Jay is good enough for WrestleMania
No.
main event?
No, I
Really?
Dude, he's a
Really?
tag guy. What the fuck is he gonna do?
No, I think
He comes out and fucking goes, everyone's all fucking stoned out of their minds like a concert.
No, I think Triple H's
I
booking is the
disagree.
problem.
I
It's terrible.
disagree with that.
What? What did you say, Milkman?
No, I say Triple H's booking is the problem. It sucks.
What's bad about his booking? Who's booked wrong? Explain.
All right, let me ask you a question. What feud are you really excited for? Really? Look at all the matches at Mania. Are you really excited for the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton feud?
But here,
Well, how has that been built great?
here's the thing. I will.
Naomi, that
here's
feud's
the-
been booked
Kevin
terribly.
Owens.
Here's the thing.
before I
Here's
said-
the thing I will say. Here's the thing I will say about his booking, and I think you brought this up earlier, Milkman. I want to say, and I forgot about it, but I remembered. But you said like, what stars has he made since he took over? The guy inherited two of the biggest stars, and like, what the fucking new stars is he gonna have to make in the main event? He doesn't have to make any fucking new stars.
Nah, that's
When
like Xbox going third party, man.
No, when you
Come on.
when you're there and you go into a situation, right? You get into a situation like he did, where he's now in charge of everything, and you have fucking Roman Reigns and Cody just came back, and they're fucking popping off and pop. You got Punk comes back, and he's popping his fucking pussy all around. Who the fuck are you good? Who in the main event? Who else would you build right now in the main event?
Otis.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
like,
You want
No, I'm
no,
not
yeah,
saying-
Hey,
wait,
Otis Otis and Gunther had great fucking matches on TV. What's going on
hey,
here?
They
I'm not
did.
saying main
Did you
event,
see that
but
SmackDown where Otis beat the fuck out of Gunther?
Yes, no, I'm not saying anything about.
He whooped that
like,
motherfucker's ass. He was the world champion.
yes, but we can't talk about Otis being in the main event.
I would
Like,
rather
that's
Otis
not-
be in the main event than fucking Jey Uso. I'll tell you that right now.
If you're
See,
Triple H,
you had a different opinion last time we talked about this Jey Uso stuff, which is why it's catching me off guard.
What
You said
opinion
he
was
should've
that?
been- that you were fine with him winning the Rumble.
Right,
and
but then we
being
saw
in-
how he was booked,
listen,
and he's
I'm
not booked
fine
for
with him
shit. You don't even, you wouldn't even know this guy was at WrestleMania.
No, but the thing is,
Every time I
think
watch
he's
this
a
shit, he's in the ring, and Gunther fucking runs in the ring and strangles him. And that's the shit that I've been seeing for 3
but,
weeks.
I know, but here's what I'm saying. I agree with you that I don't like.
If
maybe-
Gunther
but you're
fucking
saying-
strangles it,
you're-
he
but
should
you're-
go backstage
but
and look for this guy. Instead, he's
No,
like,
no,
"Oh, I'll
but-
just wait till next week for him to
here's-
strangle me again."
Here was your opinion from just a few minutes ago. Was you said that Jay was never good enough to be a singles wrestler in the main? He's a tag wrestler, right? Is that what that's what you
Based on
said?
how he's booked now.
Okay, then you have to when you say your point, you have to say that. That's why it kind of caught me off
What does
guard.
booking have to do with it? Like, why? Like, it's not about his booking. He
Well,
is
yeah,
about
because
his
he
booking.
wins the Rumble, so you think, okay, he's gonna get some good stuff on TV. And this guy is on TV in like the beginning of the
story
show,
with
getting
Jey
choked out by the
Uso and
fucking world
Gunther.
champion.
The story with Jey Uso and Gunther is
Triple
that
H's
he
fault,
can't.
though. That goes
beat
back to
Gunther.
Triple H.
The story with Jey Uso and Gunther is that he can't beat Gunther. It's the same story that they're doing.
We know
with
why he can't beat
Rhea
Gunter because
Ripley.
he's always fucking getting strangled by this guy.
But that's the point. It's like he.
Yeah, but
he
it's
is
listen,
trying to
this
beat
happens at the
Gunther.
beginning of the show. He gets strangled by Gunther, and then that's it. He should fucking look
even
for this guy
killed
backstage
Gunther.
when he wakes up. Be like, I'm gonna fuck you up. The camera needs to follow this guy backstage, look for Gunther, and beat the fuck out of him.
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because you're pushing the guy that's in the main event at WrestleMania. That's why. If some guy came, if I don't know, if Bob
He's
Holly
supposed to be
came
the
in and
underdog.
strangled Stone Cold before WrestleMania,
Bob Holly.
you think Stone Cold's gonna let him fucking strangle him? And then, oh well, I'm fighting The Rock in 2 weeks anyway.
Jey Uso is not.
Stone Cold's gonna go
Cold,
back
and
there and beat the
Stone
fuck out of Bob Holly.
When was Stone Cold ever portrayed as the underdog that can't beat somebody? That's not. You're conflating.
What is this,
things
Rey
that don't
Mysterio
mean-
again? They already got Rey Mysterio.
Wait, here's the thing.
What am-
I get the criticisms of Jey Uso. I do. But at the same time, I will stand by the like I was fine with him winning the Rumble.
Dude, look
I
at
was
Lex
fine.
Luger, okay? He was in the main event. Nobody gave a fuck about that guy. So they took him out of it. They were like, this guy is not good enough to be in the main event, even though we
The
fucked up and
criticism-
put him in it.
The
No, here's
criticism
my-
for Jey Uso is not that Jey Uso
Dreadpool, what's up?
isn't being booked to beat people up or beat Gunther up. It's that he's just not that good of a wrestler. He is kind of like a one-dimensional character, and he has a catchphrase that's over with kids. So it's either
And his dad has
you
to
love
tweet him to
him
get
or
fucking
you-
matches.
He's very polarizing, but he's not like, to me, I never saw him as a champion. Sure, mid-card champion,
Harold,
that's
what's up?
fine. But like main event Jey Uso was just a name. It's not it became a real thing when he started saying yeet. And that's the only reason why he's over. Is
I-
because
I-
he
I
would not
contrary
be as
thing.
over. He would
If
he would be main event Jey Uso, like winning like maybe the mid card title if he never said yeet. There's no-
we'll have to agree to we'll have to agree to disagree on that.
He was the crowds weren't over with him like that until he started doing that. The crowds weren't like the way they are.
Yeah,
now.
guess what? When he gets
They
beat at
did.
WrestleMania, no one's gonna give a fuck about him after that night.
He's gonna win.
Oh yeah, he's gonna win.
I bet you.
Yeah,
think
I bet you
if
Gunther
Seth
wins,
comes out and gets the
and
title.
Gunther sells his soul to The Rock
I hope you're right. I hope he does, but I think that he's gonna win.
because then Rock is
Right.
gonna take both belts and then fuse them together and have his own belt.
Fuse
No,
them together.
It's Seth selling his soul to The Rock. That's what's happening. It's Seth.
But that would be fine
But
too.
Seth needs a
It's only
mouthpiece.
Seth if
Lord
Punk
knows
wins
he's
it.
out. Because
I'd be fine
Heyman's
with
turning
Seth
heel.
winning.
Mark my words, Heyman's turning heel.
He's already a
Yeah.
heel.
That was the you. When you were
Is he gonna
talking
turn
about
on himself?
CM Punk before, I forgot to say this when we were talking about CM Punk before, but like everybody is so worked up over the favor, but what autonomy does Paul Heyman actually have? Because people keep saying like, oh, he's gonna put
He got
him
Punk in the main
and then-
event. How did he do that?
So then that
No,
must
no,
be
no,
the
Did he
I
have
agree
sex with
with you.
Triple H backstage? What
Well,
happened?
Punk says it's not the fave.
I know, but he still got him the main event.
Yeah.
I mean, like Roman Reigns being in the last match was kind of like a predestined, like that shit was gonna happen anyways.
Well,
They just said that he got him the match.
the only way it would make sense if the favor has something to do with him aligning with The Rock or something with because The Rock would have the if Paul Heyman somehow is relaying stuff to ask The
Doesn't
Rock,
Heyman
Rock
have that
makes-
fucking red thing that he puts around his neck?
But like you just turned
Rule of
Cena
follow?
heel.
Yeah,
You
maybe
just
he
turned
takes
Cena
that
heel.
from him and then he puts himself in the title match. Who the fuck knows? I
You
don't
just
know.
Turned Cena heel, and now
Yeah.
you're gonna turn CM Punk heel.
No,
Yeah,
Punk
but
won't
I-
turn heel.
turn-
Punk's gonna go against Cena.
Then it wouldn't
That's
make
just-
sense for him to join The Rock.
Who?
Punk.
Cena.
Punk.
Yeah, Punk.
Well, here's the thing. Paul Heyman would have to turn on the tribal fucking guy, the tribal chief
Yeah.
over there. He had to turn on
That's
Rock.
why I say he goes. That's why I say he goes with Seth.
Yeah,
I
like
think
it
he goes
would
with
make
Punk.
no sense for them to turn Punk heel right now. It
Punk
just
wouldn't turn heel. Heyman would be
No,
with
Seth
Punk.
wouldn't.
Heyman would
Okay,
break
so you
away
think
from the
that would-
Samoan guys.
So who's
Yeah,
the
but that
good-
would be him turning heel, though. You
Yeah,
can't
like-
do that
like-
and be a baby face.
like Roman is still a baby face, and then Punk would be a baby face. So how would like there'd just be Paul being like, I don't want to be your advocate anymore. Like there's no like real stakes to that. Like that's just blah.
Well, you're gonna
Yeah,
find out in a couple of days.
Well, yeah, we'll have to find out. But here's the dilemma I'm really deciding on, and this has something to do with WrestleMania, but not really about the show. Is that night one of WrestleMania is on my birthday,
That's
and
right.
I might be out. I might
Oh,
be
fuck.
out, so I might have to do some shit or find a bar in Philadelphia that's showing it, which
Damn,
they
dude.
might be. They might be.
Have-
So
We live
Wait,
in
is
the
this the first
universe
time you
where
had a
there's
pay-per-view on your birthday?
we live
What's
in
up?
the universe where everything is streamed.
Why
so
is
you can-
WrestleMania on Easter? We were gonna do something at the shop, and now all of a sudden actually we are getting. It's only gonna be a couple of us at the shop on Easter, but not many. But on the 19th, we're all getting together. This sucks.
yeah, it's very late this year. I feel like they don't.
They did
usually
that on
do-
purpose so they could jack up the prices and shit. And in Vegas, what are you gonna do on Easter after WrestleMania? You're gonna go fucking gamble all night.
Gamble, sports bet.
So they did
gamble.
that on purpose. I guarantee you. but it fucked everything up for everybody else because everyone's celebrating Easter.
Yeah, I literally have my birthday and then Easter next day.
I gotta have
So it's
Easter
like-
dinner at my job so that we can all watch this fucking thing.
I mean, you
That
don't
sounds like
really.
That sounds like hell.
Yeah, because I don't have equipment there to fucking make food.
So you're gonna have to make it and then bring it all over.
I don't want to do that. I'm not fucking 95 years old. That shit
You
sucks.
can get it. Yeah. But yeah, so
But
yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
I was like, before Milfman said, "Are there like what are the matches that have been like planned out that you have interest in?" And to me, most of them are interesting. Like you shit all over the.
We don't even know what the
KO
other matches are. We
Yeah,
only
you
know
do,
2
right?
matches.
That's-
Charlotte Flair is not interesting. I'm sorry. Charlotte Flair is not
Yeah, what was that all
Anything
about?
he
She
does is-
railroaded
no.
Tiffany over there. It's Tiffy time, I mean.
So she did really like railroad Tiffany. Like I thought that was pretty interesting. How
She buried her
didn't
live
even-
on TV. What's that all about?
Then I did think though the Tiffany promo afterward was on Friday or whatever. The just like her talking, being interviewed, was very good.
Yeah.
I agree with you about the Charlotte Flair thing, but like that's just I don't know. She always gets pushed. I'm hoping that she doesn't win, but
She's.
like
I
wouldn't
believe
make any
she wins,
sense
but
for her to
remember,
win.
they let Oscar job to her. Oscar's
they
job
were-
to Charlotte at Mania, and that was a joke.
that was
You think they
when.
let Tiffy go over?
Yeah,
And
I
Oscar
think
was
they-
Oscar was way more over with the crowd than that Tiffany Stratton was. She had the streak.
It's Stiffy time. Why did that guy have that sign?
I don't know.
don't know.
I think that it would make more sense, especially now because we're talking about, Charlotte is not, she's been around for a while now. Like she should be able to take a loss and have it not matter and elevate somebody, but it's probably wishful thinking. It just doesn't make any sense for them to squash Tiffany's like push
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Charlotte. Like it feels like
Yeah, but
would
they
be
want to
more
get Rick.
like a-
That's a
I
horrible
agree,
picture.
But they want to get her Ric Flair's imaginary record.
Ric Flair is a
think they do.
22-time world champion, okay? None of these motherfuckers are really breaking the streak.
Yeah, I don't think they really care that much about making her a 17-time women's champion. I think that they just gave her the title so much because she had the like cachet. She was the name brand, so it's worth doing. Like at
But-
this point, like it's sort of like
But in the last
Yeah.
few years, and like again, I think that there's plenty of other women in the company that I would rather see have the title than her. That's just how I feel.
Does the
about
women's title
division.
really mean anything anyway?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about in the scope
It's
of
just
like,
a fucking smaller version of the WWE title.
Well, yeah.
I don't
well,
know.
I'm,
What does that mean? That like that's so like bullshit. Like why doesn't their title matter? Because it's a
Because it
women's
looks
title.
all their
Like,
titles are exactly the same looking. Just make another belt, make it look different.
okay.
the thing.
That's
is
why the
I
fans
would-
don't get excited over this shit because the belts look
It's
like
not that I-
shit.
It's not that I don't care about the women's matches. It's that I don't care about Charlotte being in the main event picture for the women.
I
Yeah, she's like
understand
the
Yeah.
Cena thing.
I'm just. Oh, it's just
I'm kind of
Ti-
hoping though that so I feel like enough people will hate watch that match, hoping that Charlotte loses,
Oh, they will.
and I think
Yeah.
that's what they're banking on. Is everyone hoping Charlotte loses? I also think though that when they originally brought her back, they thought that it would be she would be more favorably like reacted to by crowds, and she's kind of got that Cena heat, she's got
Yeah.
like go away heat right now, and
Yeah.
I just think her losing might actually get her some goodwill with fans, but you never know. I don't think I see Triple H booking her like Vince McMahon booked her, if that makes sense.
yeah. No, makes sense.
I'm interested in the women's triple threat match.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
been
they
booked
built that
better.
pretty good.
That's been booked better than
think-
the.
Yeah.
I think the underlying story with Rhea not being able to beat Io was good.
Yeah.
I think
Wait,
that you also
is she turning heel or something? Is it me or are they like teasing a heel turn with her?
with Rhea.
Yeah.
No, I think it's Bianca. I think that
Bianca, yeah.
I think in the end it'll be a Bianca heel turn because I think that she really did have something to do with Jade or something like that, or she will just turn and side with Naomi or something because I
Okay.
don't think she's gonna win, and I don't think that like I just don't see them changing Rhea to a bad guy after they spent the effort to get her out of Judgment Day and change her into a good guy. And she's super over. She's easily the most popular women's wrestler.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So there's no reason to like I feel like that what they'll do is they'll kind of give some out for Bianca to start like a Jade Bianca feud, and then they'll prolong the match by or the feud by having Rhea fight Io.
Yeah.
So like I think I actually think both women's matches have some interest. Like I said, the interest. I agree with you about the like it could be anybody else but Charlotte, and it would be great. But if Charlotte loses, it could be an all-time classic because those two can
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, they
You
can
know what I
go.
mean? So like you can have them kill each other, have a really good match. Tiffany wins, and it becomes one of the matches of the night. You know what I mean?
It just has the stink of Charlotte's gonna win, but I hope she doesn't. But it just has that like I could see
Yeah,
them just doing that.
I'm going to
It'd be
call
the-
this the Xbox versus PlayStation match because it's literally two pieces of plastic fighting each other.
I mean,
like
I know.
Tiffany, obviously Tiffany got a boob job, but like,
Bro, her
she's looked
face,
like-
her everything is plastic.
no, she must have changed her. She must have got her plastic surgery when she was like 15 years old because she's looked exactly the same since she was like a kid.
She's got,
been doing
definitely had a
trampoline
facelift.
gymnastics. She's been doing trampoline gymnastics for like ever.
Who hit the
She's
air
been
horn?
on-
You?
She was on like television
by
prior.
accident, yeah, by accident, my bad.
She was on television prior to being in WWE.
Yeah,
She was
she's a
in the
piece of
Olympics.
plastic. Come on, get over it.
She looked exactly the same.
Nah, she's
Harry,
a
you
piece
just
of plastic.
made it up.
Wait, how
It's
old
sti-
is Tiffany? How old is she?
She's like in her mid-20s, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I'll look it up.
24, something like that. 25.
Okay.
she is 25 years old. She's turning 26 in May.
Nah, she's too old.
Charlotte looks like her
She's
mother.
5 years too
How
old.
old she looks.
So
No, but remember,
I don't-
according to Ric Flair, Charlotte Flair is a better wrestler than Cody Rhodes.
They should never listen to Ric Flair quote anything about Charlotte Flair ever. Every time I see a quote from Ric Flair about her, it makes me freaking go insane because it's like, who the hell cares what he has to say?
I
about
don't take
his own-
anything Ric Flair says seriously at all. He could tell me the sky is blue, and I'd be like, "Fuck you!" Like I'd like, what do you like? Ric Flair, especially after he was like, what was it? I was after the AW shows or some shit after they went off the air, where he was saying all the 18-year-old girls to come back to his like hotel room or
Stupid.
something. I was like, brother, this guy is fucking. He still goes out and like gets drunk even after all the shit he went through. They're like, oh yeah, he just has vodka cranberries now. I'm like, he's still
Yeah.
drinking.
He
Like,
literally
look-
said he's bigger than Cena. I'm like, what?
No.
This guy actually legit said that.
Look, Ric Flair has some of my favorite matches of all time. Can't take that away from him. But the guy is fucking off his fucking rocker. He's a fucking weirdo. He's a creep. And he's a bit odd. And I think,
Oh, you
I
think?
just don't need to. I don't need his like affirmations about Charlotte, like or his like statements about how great she is. Like everybody knows she's a great wrestler. Everybody knows that she's an all-time women's
Yeah.
champion. We don't need Ric Flair telling me that she's better than Cena or she's
and
better
also, I get you want to hype up your daughter. That's your daughter. But there's like,
than setting your kid up for failure, for ridicule and like stupid shit.
yeah,
Like,
I
she's
just
better than the all-time greats.
I just wish some of these wrestlers, like really, like the older ones, would just fucking just retire and to just go in the sunset. Just fucking just like Ric Flair should not be. He's tweeting like he tweets more than me. Ric Flair.
He's in AEW
what-
now. Who cares?
But no, what
Ric
I'm
Flair
saying
should
is
be like
that-
Shawn Michaels. He should be like Shawn Michaels, just go off into the sunset, maybe work for WWE, doing something.
Shawn Michaels looks like a wooden soldier. What happened to that guy?
stop wrestling.
He literally looks like a piece of wood.
Yeah.
His fucking eyeball is all fucked up. What do you get? Fucking beaten up by the alien and predator? What happened with this guy?
But
His
they,
fucking hair is like a piece of shit. It's like someone took like a, I don't know, they shaved their armpit and glued it on somebody's head. His hair looks horrible. What happened to this guy?
Age, drugs.
speaking of
Everything.
speaking of, you brought up AEW.
You look
Can
at
we
you
just
look at him on the WrestleMania 2000 thing they just uploaded. You're like, holy
Yeah.
fuck! I forgot he used to look like this.
Yeah.
He looks like
Literally 25 years ago.
yeah, I know. But now the guy looks horrible.
25 years will do that to some people.
Not a lot of people.
You brought up AEW a little bit ago.
Really
Eric.
quick,
We
before we
get-
hit fully into AEW, we got to talk about WWE and AEW. Sting.
what?
Lex
Oh.
Luger wants Sting to induct him in the Hall of Fame. And Sting, who's retired from AEW, still has a deal with them. And the whole thing is online. Is Tony Khan going to let Sting induct Lex Luger in the WWE Hall of Fame? Now, WWE's been taking shots the last couple of days at AEW on TV.
A lot. Yeah.
So does that mean the deal, it didn't go through or fell through?
They're probably gonna end up getting DDP to do it. That's the next logical choice, though. There's only DDPs.
But is Tony Khan that petty where he won't let his buddy go down there and put his buddy in the Hall of Fame? They're acting like Sting has to wrestle a fucking match. It's like the guy's going to come out, introduce his friend, and then leave.
He's gonna be on screen for like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's-
Why is this a huge deal? Just let the guy do it.
It would kind of somewhat surprise me, even though Tony Khan is petty. The only reason why it would surprise me if he doesn't do it is because he tends to like Sting. Because if you think about it, he booked Sting to be undefeated. Sting never lost a match in AEW, but clearly loves the guy.
yeah.
So I think if Sting goes to him and say, "Hey, I really want to do this," I would kind of be surprised if he doesn't ultimately do it.
I
So
think
can ask a
I think we got our
question,
answer already.
guys?
They're taking shots at him on TV. So, I mean, I don't know. Go ahead.
That's just a question about Sting to you guys. Did you guys enjoy Sting when he was in AEW, like his wrestling
Hell no.
and him winning?
No, he was
Hell no.
wrestling like fucking an ECW guy, like a crappy ECW guy.
Because he ultimately was
Dude, he
supposed
was
to
the
be there to put
Sandman with
somebody
fucking
over. Who did he
face
put
paint
over?
on.
When is
Like
it
him.
okay for like a legend to show up and beat like the current guys? Like how do we determine who's over the hill and who isn't? Because I mean, I'm just gonna put this on you because it's very obvious, but like you always hyped Goldberg like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. He came back and won the title, and I was like, this sucks. But you liked it. The old people winning and coming back to me is awful all across the board. Like I don't want to see any of them. So once you get past a certain age, I don't think you should be doing it anymore. But like I understand that there is sort of a like a taste or a aesthetic in it, like where people are like, oh, this person's okay, but this person isn't. It's like I don't want to see 60-year-old Sting wrestling. I can tell you that for sure. I definitely don't want to see Jeff Jarrett wrestling. I don't want to see.
Well, because the fact Goldberg didn't come back and spear himself through fucking glass and shit. This guy
Oh,
Sting is
something
jumping off the
saying-
fucking rafters. He's flying through glass with the fucking other guy.
I
Like,
know,
what the
I'm
fuck is
curious
going on
about-
with this guy?
Goldberg
What
also
would you-
dropped people on their heads because he couldn't do the jack.
Oh yeah, and so did Undertaker, but nobody talks about that because everyone loves the fucking Undertaker.
Well, nobody talked
okay,
about
well,
Ted when he
Oh,
got
it's all about
Goldberg.
respect. Even though I don't respect my own wife, I cheated on my wife while she was pregnant. Oh, respect everybody. Fuck him.
That's another thing. Well, that's another thing too. And then this is just an aside I want to bring up about the whole Hall of Fame.
Sting's not
induction
even
thing is-
wrestling. He's gonna fucking put his friend in, his crippled friend, by the way, which is fucked up. Just let the guy do it. We don't know how long Lex has.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And here's the thing. And again, just because I gotta call a spade, and I gotta be honest about everything because that's who I am, and I'm always gonna be that way. But is one of the requirements of inducting Lex Luger is that you also have to beat women. Thank you. I'll be here all week.
What? Sting beat up a woman?
What's up?
Sting beat up a lady?
No, I'm talking about Lex Luger did.
Who the fuck did he beat up?
Lex Luger did he beat up what's her face?
What, Elizabeth you talking about?
Yeah, he fucking beat her up.
He didn't fucking beat her up.
Yes,
No,
he did beat her
He
up.
did
When?
out with her. He used
Brother-
to drug out with her. That's
What-
what I remember.
No, hang
Dude,
on.
they were
I
together.
gotta-
Right?
Because
yeah, they were.
the only thing I remember is everybody blamed him for her death.
Yes,
blamed
because
him for
he-
that.
He feels he's responsible, which he does feel he's responsible.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
didn't
'cause they
kill
were
her.
both
He
addicts,
fucking
they were
okay.
neighbors.
She overdosed. Okay, she was taking painkillers and drank wine. Then she started overdosing. He calls 911. 911's like, "Can you give her mouth to mouth?" And he was so fucking freaked out. He didn't want to touch her. That's why they blame him for her death.
So this is what I was referring to, and I thought I was fucking tripping, but I'm reading it right
Well,
here.
tell me about it then.
Luger was involved on April 19th, 2003, my birthday.
Your birthday.
was involved in a domestic dispute with Miss Elizabeth, then his live-in girlfriend, in the garage of their townhome in Marietta, Georgia, during which Luger struck her. Cobb County police found Hewlett with 2 bruised eyes, which
Ooh.
is Miss Elizabeth, a bump on her head and a cut lip. Luger was charged with a misdemeanor count of battery and released on $2,500 bond.
Well, guess
2
what?
days late,
Misdemeanor. What the?
Well, guess what?
I mean, this
Karma
was
got him back
2003.
because he's fucking crippled now.
Yeah.
So what do you want? You want him to cancel him as he's going to Hall of Fame?
No, but no, I'm not saying. I gotta call a spade a spade. I'm not gonna sit there and like. I hope the best for him in terms of his health.
But this
But
is
I
about
was-
Sting putting him in. What does that have to do with
Yes,
anything
yes.
else?
No, because I'm still gonna bring up. I'm still gonna bring it up. Sorry, I am. I'm gonna bring it up. And that was. I'm gonna bring it up. That,
I actually didn't know about that. I'll be honest. I did not know about
I didn't even remember
I
that.
say something about
a lot of
Goldberg.
people don't know. And then 2 days. And then 2 days
Undertaker
later,
being
he had a
the
DUI after rear-ending another car and driving away. That was 2 days after that.
Yeah, he got his whole arrest record on here.
Yeah, it's on his wiki. He has his.
Why he shouldn't go in the
his-
Hall of Fame.
No, I'm not saying he shouldn't go in the Hall of Fame. He should.
Bro,
go
they
in the Hall
put
of Fame
Sonny in the
for
Hall of
wrestling.
Fame and she killed somebody.
Yes. But that was before she killed somebody, though, right? They put her in.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
going to
yeah, that
happen
was
one way or
before.
another. Everyone knew it.
But that was just me bringing up the point that, to me, like, and it's a conversation I want to have about Luger and about it. I know that karma caught up to him and he's crippled and all this other stuff like that. And I hope the best for him health wise. But because karma caught up to him, do we then just forget about other things? Again, I'm not saying he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Not saying that. For wrestling, he's not going to the Hall of Fame for being a great person.
That's what I'm saying. Who
Right.
cares?
Yes. Okay.
We don't know
Okay,
him as a person. I don't know him personally. I fucking don't even.
I mean,
who cares?
but see, here's the thing. I can make, when you're doing shit like that, though, I can make assessments on who you are as a person. There's certain lines that are crossed that are not coming back from.
Mel
like, the whole
Gibson
Ben-
is one of the worst fucking people in the world, okay? But he makes Lethal Weapon. I got to watch Lethal Weapon. Sorry.
Yeah, he made Lethal Weapon. I wouldn't watch Lethal Weapon today. If a new one came out, I wouldn't watch it.
I'm going to
That's
watch
me.
Lethal Weapon. I don't like
I'm
the
not.
guy, but I'm going to watch Lethal Weapon.
I'm not. I don't go out and give my money to people who say the N word to other
You're
people. Like,
I know.
legitimately-
I agree with you.
Oh,
Nick.
but
I'm
you
the
buy
same way.
you buy all the fucking music CDs where they say it all day long, right?
yeah. Another black person saying it? Yes, 100%.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
gonna dictate how a black person should say that word.
If you're gonna
That's
outlaw the
my-
word, outlaw the word.
I mean,
So,
that's
Nick,
not
on
my
this one.
conversation to have. That's not my conversation to
I
have.
don't know, man. You
that-
brought it up.
Say
That's
there's a
not my conversation to
masterpiece.
have. You brought up Mel Gibson. That's what he's known for.
I'm saying if I don't agree with Mel Gibson at all, but I'm gonna go watch Lethal Weapon 5.
Okay, that's what.
I
you
don't
wanna
agree
do.
with
That's
half
fine.
these fucking wrestlers that are on the roster, but I still watch wrestling.
90% of
Basically-
wrestlers are fucked up. I understand. I 100% agree with you. I'm getting that out there. But what I was just saying.
Well, then
is
you can't
that-
put the Undertaker in, even though he's in already, right?
What do you mean?
You can't put Cena in the Hall of Fame, right?
I never said that this wouldn't allow him to not be in the Hall of Fame. I'm not
All
saying.
right, so
that.
let me ask you, Nick. So you're basically saying once you lose respect for the person, you don't spend your money on them. Basically.
I mean, if it's something to that degree, yeah, I wouldn't like.
No. Oh no,
I
I'm
don't-
the same way. So that's why I was asking. I'm the same way. So that's why
I
I was
mean,
asking.
you're talking about this not spending your money on them or something, but say something like, perfect example. My perfect example is The Usual Suspects. Is that a movie you can't watch now because Kevin Spacey is in it?
I never said I couldn't watch.
I never
anybody
saw the
in
movie.
past. I never said I would go back and watch Lethal Weapon because like the stuff that's already out. Like he's putting
Okay, you
example.
just don't know. You just won't promote what they do new.
Yes. So like
Okay.
what's out's out. It's fine. Like a perfect example. This is not wrestling related. J.K. Rowling, the Harry Potter author. She's a
Yeah.
huge transphobic bigot.
Why
I
are we
fucking
talking
hate
about
that.
this on this channel? Holy shit.
What?
You have to
What?
understand, you can't say this shit on YouTube. We're gonna get fucking in trouble now.
What are you talking about getting in trouble?
You can't talk
can't-
about this shit on there, man. You can't bring up those words.
Yeah, let's talk about
my God.
wrestling.
Okay, we'll leave.
YouTube has rules now. I know you come from Twitch. You can say whatever you want over there. That's fine.
First of all, this is my show too.
The
and I'll say
guy's
what the fuck
fucking
I wanna say.
got
I'll say
bikini
what
young
the
girls
fuck I
on
wanna
Twitch.
say.
The fucking 90-year-old guy that works
Bro.
there.
I mean, this all stemmed from me talking about Goldberg, and then suddenly he was like, "Well, Undertaker beats his wife." So like, I don't.
I
know,
didn't say
like,
nothing about Undertaker. I say he cheated on
He
his
said he
wife.
cheated on his wife. Yeah.
cheats on his wife, whatever. Like, who cares? I was
But
talking about
also,
That's what I'm
Perry, I
saying.
know
Who
that-
cares about Lex Luger?
But also, Perry, I know this is your channel, and I'm sorry for bringing that up, but it's also my show too. So I'm gonna still like if I'm gonna bring up certain things, I know certain words might be like too.
Then we have
we'll
to put this show on Rumble because we got freedom of speech over there.
I'm not.
Then you can say whatever
freedom
you
of-
want at this point,
I'm not.
and we still won't
I'm
get paid.
I'm curious. What is everybody's prediction then? Does everybody honestly think Tony Khan is not going to give them Luger?
I don't think he did because they're taking shots at them on live TV last couple of days.
I think eventually it will come out that they didn't get him.
Well, eventually, yeah, because the Hall of Fame is next week or 2 weeks.
So
So-
do you think this could hurt their viewership because people will be like, all right, this is another thing?
No, it
with
won't
Tony
hurt the
Khan.
viewer.
No.
Okay, for AEW, I think it'll turn more fans off. Like, wow, Tony's
like-
a petty
like-
bitch.
yeah,
But
like- yeah,
they don't
like-
have
like
any
turn
fans
them
left anyway. What does it matter?
Yeah, no,
It'll
they're
just
not.
make him,
Fucking
not gonna affect
TNA's doing better views than Dynamite.
It's not going to affect their
It'll make them
viewership.
look
It's not
better.
going to affect their viewership at all in terms of like it will affect how people think of like Tony people already have a bad opinion on Tony, and that would just further his pettiness.
Yeah.
That would just further him being like, oh, he's super petty. That you couldn't let Sting, who and Tony like hypes himself up as like this guy who cares about like wrestling history and he grew up a fan and all this other stuff. If he grew up a fan and he's that much of a fan of Sting, he knows how important Sting is to Luger's career to let him induct him for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like he's too much of a mark to like let this keep him from letting.
That's
him
what
do
I'm
that.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
I hope
it doesn't-
it happens because it would be cool to see. Because he does mean a lot to his career, and it would be cool for him to get in there with him or they induct him. But we'll see what happens. But I think Perry might be onto something though with the whole shots thing. Them taking shots at AEW.
Yeah, because Bully Ray was saying on Busted Open last week because Punk cut that promo, I work with children on SmackDown. And he was like, oh, he shouldn't have gone there because now it's going to fuck up the whole thing. And I'm like, they were probably already said no. And now they're taking even more shots at AEW. So I'm like, yeah, they probably really said no.
But when Punk made that comment, some people thought he was referencing working with the people in NXT.
Yeah, but that wasn't it.
That's what some people looked at it as. Some people looked at it like, oh, he's working with the people in NXT because everybody knows he's close with Jade. What's that girl? Jade? What the hell's it? Cora Jade. He's
Yeah,
close to
that's
some of the people down there.
Roxanne Perez too. That's the thing though. Like they WWE, when they mention AEW or they take a shot at it, it's very veiled. It's not like AEW does it really ham-fisted. They're like, we want you to absolutely know we're talking about WWE. We'll absolutely like mention it word for word. Whereas this AEW like takes veiled shots. Or I
Right.
mean WWE takes veiled shots.
Yeah. You got to know what they're talking about to know what they're talking about.
Exactly. So
Yeah, it's
you
not
can
like,
actually interpret it in more than one way. You know,
like,
like,
when
you're
Punk,
saying,
like when Punk said, "I work with children" the other night on Raw. It's like if you don't know about the situation, you're just saying he's saying I work with children, but he's bringing up that old press conference. So
Right. And Bully
makes
Ray was
sense.
saying that wasn't a good move because it's going to fuck up the Sting negotiations. But I think that ship has sailed.
I'm gonna say if that's the thing that is stopping it, then it's just never gonna happen in the first place.
Right.
yeah, if stuff like that's gonna stop it, it's like it's not. No,
Like everybody should know it's par for the course because
I
the amount of times that AEW has attacked them on their television show, it should be fine for them to go at each other. Like that's what happens.
I hope for Luger's sake that they get Sting, that they're able to get Sting. Because I think
I'm
that
sure-
it would be good for him to induct him. But we'll see.
Should have just said that in the beginning.
Does anybody think that Luger will actually get up
He
and
brought up
walk
his whole fucking arrest
at
record for
some point
what?
at the Hall of Fame?
We dropped that. We're done talking.
You
about
dropped
that.
it. You brought it up. You didn't even. All you had to do was just say what you just
Yeah.
said. I hope they get it because
Yeah.
you deserve it. Whatever. That's it.
Okay. I still. Here's the thing. I can still bring up whatever the fuck I want to bring up though. What the fuck is?
You got to read the rules on TOS on
What?
YouTube.
What the fuck? No, like, dude, I'm still gonna bring up what the hell I want to bring up.
You
About
got to read the
somebody.
TOS of YouTube. It's not.
So I can't bring up anything about somebody's past.
It depends on what it is.
Well, sorry, then they shouldn't have done it. I'll bring it up. Like, I'll bring it up. You're not gonna control what I like, police what I say. That's
I'm not
happening.
trying to control. I'm just saying that you
Well,
can't
you
say
were
certain
saying
shit
that
on
I can't-
YouTube.
Well,
I think
that's
what
not
he's saying
happening.
is just
Sorry, that's not, and we're not going to Rumble, so that's not happening either. So we're gonna have to figure out.
You can say whatever you want over there. That'd be perfect for you, actually.
I know they let anybody over there, but what I'm saying is not as problematic as some of the shit that people are saying over there. That's all I'm gonna say because apparently can't say certain things, and I don't want to offend anybody.
Hey, it's YouTube. It's not me.
Yeah.
What do I
That-
care?
No, we'll talk after the show. We'll talk after the show about how we can get around that. So, but we'll talk after the show. But yeah.
Like, are we
so-
talking about the Moxley spot still since we're on AEW?
Yeah,
Are we
really
talking about the
quick.
Moxley-
I got pictures.
Oh god.
What the hell's going on with this guy with fucking he wants to stick nails up his ass and they hit his back instead. So this guy, Edge, dropped Moxley into a bat of spikes, which is nails. Legitimate nails. And they had to pull these
Yeah.
nails out of his fucking back. Basically
This is
ripped his fucking back open. What are we doing here?
This is the prime example of what I say when like I talk about just like it's using excessive like no one gives a shit about this feud. Even AEW fans don't give a shit about this feud. So they're using an extreme spot or a shock value spot for people to try to talk about this feud because no one gives a shit about it. And I like Edge and I like Moxley. No one gives a shit about this feud. None. Not even AEW fans give a shit about
I don't like any of these guys anymore. If they're gonna do shit like this, what the fuck?
You know what's
This
kind
is-
of funny though? Like what you just said, like about this spot and how they're doing it because nobody cares about the feud and how it doesn't work. But the Jay thing that happened tonight with Jimmy is the same exact thing in a way, but it does work because it's not as brutal and it's not as like off the wall weird with the
Yeah.
spikes.
Yeah, but that works for a
Yeah.
company that's hot.
Yeah.
This is fucking AEW. Nobody's there.
but
Impact
like,
has more people than AEW.
what Sean
I just
said
mean-
is true. It's not as over the top.
You got rid of
as
CM
this.
Punk for this Boris. If I could speak that, you got rid of CM Punk for this bullshit.
No, I
You
think
got rid of
another
Cody
reason why
Rhodes for
it
this
wor-
horse shit.
I think another reason why it might work for some people, at least more with WWE, what they did tonight is WWE doesn't do it as often. You don't really see the
Absolutely.
blood. That spot, you don't really see it. When was the last time
Well,
you seen that?
That's just it too, though. Like Moxley bleeds every single match, so it doesn't matter. Like nobody cares. When Moxley does something new, it's like, oh, this is the new thing for him to do to make people go, oh wow, look how hardcore he is. Like,
Yeah, he's basically known as the hardcore guy now, pretty much.
and I'm pretty open about my opinion on him. Like, he's very generic, and like people want to say he's like this, like stone cold for the new generation.
He is
or
fucking not.
he's
No.
just a fucking guy. He's to me like
The guy
he was
can't even
always the
cut a
third
promo.
wheel.
Let me tell you something. I was listening to him explain his faction about a month ago. I might have even talked about that on here. I don't remember. Dude, I'm cleaning my room and I got my earbuds in and I'm listening to him. He's talking to like a newspaper, okay? He's trying to do kayfabe and shit. All I hear is blah, 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 blah. I was like, is this guy croaking on the fucking air? Like, what is going on with this guy? The guy can't even talk.
What I would say about him is that what stinks about the fact, like everybody's like, oh my god, he's so much better in AEW because he's more like he was before he got to WWE, where he was like this like
How the fuck did he even get
angry
there?
badass guy and blah 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 blah.
He
And
was a
I'm like-
deathmatch guy before he got to WWE.
Yeah, I
He was-
know.
he was like
I saw the
CCW and-
CCW with the
Like-
chainsaw to his fucking head without the chain.
Yeah, but my point is when he was in WWE, he did some comedy stuff, and that was the best stuff he ever did when he actually had a personality. Now he's just an angry weirdo. Like there's nothing to
To
him.
me,
But
He's
I'm a
fucking
bad
Homer
guy.
Simpson. That's all he
no,
is.
but my thing is, I think Moxley was booked pretty good at first. The problem with Moxley is the same thing with Sasha Banks, which is a question I have for everybody. Who's
Oh,
ruined
she's gonna get us
themselves
taken off
more?
YouTube. Better watch out.
No, I'm serious. Who's ruined their legacy more? Because they both have the Hogan power. They both basically have booking power over their entire feuds. And nobody likes them right now. Who's ruined themselves more? Because both of them were loved in WWE. Moxley
Yeah.
was even loved when he first came here. When his first 2 years or so, people were calling
What?
him the MVP.
What I fucking
Right
heard
now,
about
I
this
would
guy
say
Moxley when he came to WWE, always like Roddy Piper. And I'm like,
Right
this
now,
guy's
I would
nothing
say-
like Roddy Piper. What the fuck is that all about?
Right now, I would say Sasha's in a worse place than he is. But I think Sasha can come out, or Mercedes can come out of it with the proper amount of feuds. But like the thing is
She beats everybody.
everybody knows her personality and how she was in WWE already, and the fact that she has all that power just makes everybody be like, okay, it's the Charlotte effect. It's what you
It
were
already
talking
puts a
about with
sour
Charlotte.
taste. Yeah, it already puts a sour taste in people's mouths with
Like,
her,
and
yeah.
she's got all these belts. She beats everybody. Like you look at the way that like AEW wanted to hire Stephanie when she was the strong champion,
I think it was
and
here.
and yeah, back here, and then they
Okay.
had that match, and like she was always going to go to WWE in the first place, but like everybody looks at that and they go, oh well, she loses to Mercedes, and then she's like, fuck this, I'm going to WWE, because I wouldn't want to be in a feud with her, because if no, you don't have any chance of like ever looking good out of it. Like she makes everybody sort of look like shit, and anytime she's got somebody even that's in like on her side, she ends up making them just like an afterthought. So like,
Yes.
and she's really like, she's so, I don't know, it gets like very one dimensional, the same character all the time, whether she's good or bad, she's the same. She doesn't really change. Everything
Yeah.
is about like her whole gimmick is the same anytime she does it. Her promos are all cut and paste. Like she's just very generic to me. And that's the other thing is I think I said this last time, but like Stephanie does literally all of like the moves that Mercedes does and makes
Yeah.
them look like 300 times better. Like stronger, faster, powerful, just better. More air, more ability, more technique, and yet we sit here and you hear all the time like how she's this great wrestler and she's so amazing. Like she does them meteor. Like
She's so
45
fucking great that nobody's watching the show, nobody's buying tickets. That's how fucking great that
And-
she is.
That was the other
Just
thing.
like
She
this
was
guy
supposed to be
Moxley.
she was supposed to be this giant draw for AEW. Where is that? Where did that come?
So,
Where did that go?
let me ask you something. Is she fucking this guy Tony Khan? Because what is this power that she has over this guy?
No, Tony just is up. Tony
Contract,
just
right?
has a WWE fetish. That's all. Go
It
look
was
at
like
all
a
their
contract
champions right
situation.
now. All their champions, are all ex-WWE people. Tony Storm, the Hurt Business, Moxley, who doesn't even show off the title. We haven't even seen this title in like 5 months. It's supposedly in the
Oh, because it's up his ass. That's probably why he fucking put the spikes in his back so he could fucking fart it out. When are they gonna feed it? When are they gonna feed Moxley to a snake on fucking Dynamite? I mean, that's gonna happen at some point, right? This guy is just fucking. What's his name? What was that guy's name? Super Dave, Daredevil guy,
Oh,
stunt double.
Darby Allin. You
No.
talking Darby Allin.
I'm talking about a real guy.
oh,
Evil Knievel over here, right?
Evil Knievel. Yeah.
Is he gonna drive off a fucking cliff live on Dynamite? Like, what are we doing here? What is this? What is the end game with this guy?
And that's another thing. This is like the whole like idea that they had been building this whole Moxley like story and him keeping the title.
The
And
story
everything like that.
fucking blows, and everyone's telling them, guys, go in a different direction, and they're doing this shit.
No,
To
but
me, the biggest,
they were doing.
the biggest
thing-
problem with both of them is they're not building anybody up to take the title off of either one of them.
Well, here's the thing. They were building this whole thing supposedly was to build Darby Allin to be the guy to take it off of him.
Yeah, and that guy
Which I
fucking
thought
left.
Darby Allin's not the guy.
Is a
to me.
terrible idea, but they believe he is like this guy that they can put the title on that's going to help the company. And I
The
see
company's
Darby Allin as
dead.
like a mid-card guy.
It's
I don't
dead. You
see-
can't get any higher than what they were. It's over.
Like, I don't see Darby Allin as a main event guy. Maybe I'm not seeing.
You know what? He
something,
would have
but
been a main event guy if he was able to work with guys like Cody and Punk, but they didn't give him that opportunity, did they?
Actually, no, he did work a match with Punk.
Okay, but they
Okay.
didn't get to build him up to be a fucking world champion. That's what I'm saying. Like, these guys were
Nick,
there
That
to
was
do all
Punk's-
that.
That was Punk's
Nick,
first
you
pay-per-view
think-
match. I remember.
Do you think that that he's legitimate? Like, do you think that?
I think that he'll be in WWE at some point, but I don't know how legitimate he is because right when he was starting to work with CM Punk, the plug got pulled. Same thing with
But he
Wardlow.
Wait,
Same
you
thing with
talking about
MJF.
Darby Allin?
MJF to
Yeah.
me, what the fuck does this guy do? Wow, he could talk. Okay, so I guess Paul Heyman should be the world champion because he could talk. MJF
Alright,
doesn't
so
do
let me
shit
ask
for
you that
anybody.
More than a talker.
He's a
So,
spoiled
Perry,
fucking
you-
brat that gets overpaid and doesn't do dog shit. He hasn't drawn any
So,
money for
Perry-
the company. Nobody cares.
So
He's
I
more
take
than
it you agree with Punk when he said in that infamous promo, "You're a less famous Miz."
He is.
So
I wouldn't say that about MJF. I think MJF has been used terribly in AEW.
Right.
Terribly.
That's what I'm saying. But by the time he gets to WWE, are they really going to use him that well?
I mean,
I-
he
If he's got a
apparently
5-year deal and within another
Yeah.
5 years in 2030, are they
Yeah.
going to use this guy? He's going to be fucking damaged
No,
goods
no.
by then.
but
It
I,
always-
I can see Triple H if he's still there using him just to spite AEW, just to say, "Look what I
In
can do with this guy."
2030, there won't be an AEW.
No, my
That's what I'm
question
saying.
is,
Like these guys are ruining their fucking careers by sitting in AEW.
Do you think that Darby Allin is a championship main event guy?
Not right now. They could have built him, but they didn't do it.
Like, he's got Vanilla Midget written all over him.
I
Just
know
'cause he
that, but
paints
do you
his
see
face and
WWE?
shit.
They're using all these guys because it's Shawn Michaels.
Like, I don't see it. Okay.
Yeah, but they book differently.
Look
from
at Shorty
NXT,
G.
though.
This
Those
guy is
dudes in
trying to
NXT,
fight
but
fucking
then they
Penta
get-
over that. Not Penta, the other guy, Ray Phoenix.
well, here's the
I
thing.
would.
Here's the thing. Darby Allin, it's up in the air whether I think he could be a main eventer or not in WWE. But not everybody has to be a main eventer. Like, he could go over to WWE, be booked really strong, and be booked in the mid card and still be a dominant fucking champion and have a great career. Like, he could do
I
that.
don't- No, but
I
I don't
wasn't
think
really-
he'll ever go over there because he likes to do a lot of extreme stuff, and WWE is
That's it.
not letting him do none of that.
I wasn't really talking about him being in WWE. I mean, like, do you think that he's the guy that they could put the title on?
Hell
in
no.
AEW?
Nobody is in AEW. AEW's done. AEW, minute those two guys left, they lost all credibility.
I don't know, man. Like, it's the same as it
Kenny
was.
Omega can't even save it.
He'll be in
feel like-
WWE. don't worry.
Yeah, he wants to fucking go to
I feel like it's
WWE. He doesn't even want to be there.
I feel like it's always been a niche thing that, like, a hardcore audience follows, and that it's gonna keep being the same.
Yeah, they're so
exact thing.
hardcore they're leaving.
The thing with AEW is it'd be one thing if, like, this is where, like, they started, but AEW started way ahead of what they're doing now business wise. In terms of ratings, in terms of business.
It was great when they
like,
started because they did everything right, and then they fell
it-
into the trap, and then that's it.
It'd be
To me,
one thing
they
if
had all the- Yeah, go on. Sorry.
it'd be one thing if they were like, start off small, then kept growing, and they're like, we're just gradually growing. They were still maybe in this spot they are right now, but they had a moment. Not saying they were ever gonna beat WWE or be bigger than WWE at like that early
It
on.
would have been competition.
Yeah, they were going to be in the conversation. And
Right.
I think this still, if you look at them now with the, I think them going to smaller venues is working for them better. It doesn't sound like fucking no one's
They
in the
still
building.
can't sell out a fucking 300 people building. Like, come on.
I think that the origins of AEW and the big deal that people make it out to be is over exaggerated. Like, they were beating NXT. Who cares?
Yeah,
like-
no,
They
Yeah, but
beat
you
the
guys,
minor-
here's the thing though. You guys don't understand. This is why I'm so mad about Punk leaving AEW because he was going to be the guy that was going to help set up the future guys. Okay.
Hmm.
so that the company could be in the conversation of competition.
Yeah, I wasn't talking yet.
And then when
me
he
and
would be
Barry
gone,
bring up-
those guys would take over, and then you would have your competitive thing.
when
The
me-
problem is the guy gets there, they fuck with the guy, he can't build anybody up, and he leaves. So what the fuck? And then
when
people
me
see that, and
when
they're
me-
like,
yeah.
well, there's nobody here that's a star, so we're not going to watch this shit anymore. And that was it. You Japanese
When me-
guys, you got the fucking hardcore fat slobs with the neck beards watching this shit because they want to bang Japanese chicks. I can speak tonight.
when
That's
me
all
and
it
Barry
is.
bring up the fact that they were doing better than they were now, we weren't saying like, oh, they were going to be competition off the bat. We were saying they were moving in the right direction before to in the future, 4 or 5 years down the line, because Punk was going to be there forever. I mean, we all know Punk's on the tail end of his career, and guys like Sting and guys like all those guys. And we originally thought Jericho was going to be there forever, but he might be there forever at this point.
Yeah,
We even-
unfortunately.
We even thought when Jericho first went to AEW, we thought it was a good thing because we thought, hey, this might be like, it's an established name that you have
It
when you
was a good
first come
thing.
on, and then you're, like we thought Jericho was going to have the same thing that Punk would do, like set up the future guys, be there for 4 or 5 years, dip.
It was a good thing though, because he actually gave them the ability for
Oh, yeah.
people that didn't know about him.
100%.
Like he was a
That's
draw.
why they put the
At
title
first-
on him instead of Hangman.
At first, 100%, me and Perry even agreed about him being the champion at first, because
Right.
you want to have a champion that you that's actually like recognizable. People are like, oh, I know that guy from WWE. If you're just a casual fan that's not a hardcore wrestling nerd on the internet, you're gonna be like, oh, I know Jericho. It was
Yeah,
gonna
so I
draw
just
fans
think
in
that
initially.
That the beginning is like
Yes.
overstated, because I think that like I just never ever saw, even like under the tutelage of CM Punk and Cody, that these wrestlers that are under him were suddenly going to become bigger than
No, you build
who
them
they
up.
were. No, I get I get what you're saying.
Like
Perry.
Punk and
I didn't
MJF could have
believe-
gone a few more years and they could have built up MJF. The problem is
don't know
MJF
how
had one
they
fucking
would
match
build
with the
up
guy. He got thrown out. I know he's fucking doing stupid matches with Adam Cole. Great, good fucking job. Now your value went all the way down.
I just don't think that was going to
Yeah.
change anything. I feel
The
like
prob- the problem
AEW
with-
was always going to be a sort of like the secondary competition to WWE.
Right,
that
but if you
pulls
build
in,
your
like,
guys up,
millions
No,
of
you
but
build
they
your
could've been a
roster up,
strong
people are
number
going to
two.
watch it.
I always felt they could have been a very strong number 2, because when they first started, they gave me like early days of like TNA vibes, but with a much bigger budget. They were
Yes,
complete
exactly.
opposite of WWE. They were the alternative. If
The
you didn't
first
like
thing
the
I said to
WWE
Frank was,
style-
wow, I bet Dixie wish he had this type of money.
Yeah. It's like
Like-
they came off as TNA with a bigger budget those first 2-3 years.
Right.
And then it's like afterwards, when the rumors came out of Cody losing power, that was the beginning of the end.
So
When those
I
stories
stopped,
started to
I stopped watching wrestling for a fair amount of time, all right? And then like I started watching it in 2014 again, okay? And around the time I started watching New Japan Pro Wrestling. And that was when I got sort of into the Bullet Club and Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, all that stuff, right? And this is like right before AEW, shortly
Yeah.
before AEW. We have all the Nakamura and Nakamura
AJ?
goes over, and AJ, everything like that. So I'm starting from that sort of view, and I liked the indiness of the AEW, and even Ring of Honor at the time was
Yes.
very interesting. But once they combined all of that to make AEW, I was like, oh, this is going to be the thing that I love. And then I didn't. And I don't know what that is, but it was like you'd think that you combining all of the things that I loved in the other places into one thing would make me think that this was the future. But instead, it just felt like, okay, everybody's together and it's kind of not booked the way that I think it should be.
Well, that's the thing. AEW, at least to me, it's not the talent that they have. I think it's more so of like what's going on behind the curtain. That's kind of like
story.
That place is a
whether-
fucking mess.
whether it
to
be
me,
like
it's the leadership. They had the talent. They
yeah.
just had
Oh,
bad
100% they
leadership.
had the talent. 100% they had the talent. They like it you got to be able to utilize your talent correctly. Like we said, for me and Perry said for years, TNA, even like when TNA was in the shitter, like creatively, they still had one of the most talented rosters in the industry, and they weren't doing shit with them. They weren't doing shit with them. And they had AJ and Samoa Joe wasted like prime years of their career.
TNA
kicking
is just
their
bad
ass and doing
booking.
nothing.
But
Doing
the thing
nothing.
is, though, backstage, bro, Dixie, you know, this woman, yeah, all those guys went down there and hit her up for money. We get that. We understand it. We knew that when it was happening, okay?
Yeah.
We called it on this show. We said these guys are just going to get money. But the thing is, she, even though that shit was going down, she kept a tight ship, and you didn't get drama backstage, and any problems, it was fixed immediately or eliminated. Okay? You didn't have wrestlers going on social media cursing each other out and fucking doing thunderclaps on fucking Fridays at 6 p.m. at night. You know, this is bullshit. The way the AEW and their talent act in the locker room, they're fucking dumb. And
Well,
it costs them their
funny part-
goddamn company.
Well, the funny part is that they like, chatter from within the company was like, oh, well, once CM Punk was gone, he was like the locker room cancer. But
Yeah, right? And he
was
leaves,
just-
and
it
guess
was-
what? They still have people punching each other in the fucking face backstage. They still have thunderclaps every Friday at 6 p.m. Like, what the fuck is going on? These wrestlers are pussies today. Holy shit.
You
I'm
still
sorry,
got
but,
people being unprofessional on TV.
You're
like
supposed
that
to
girl
show
Megan
these
Thee.
guys that you're wrestlers, that you're tough. Oh my God,
What
the
girl?
guy, the disabled guy in the front row said I had a bad match. Now let's cancel him online, everybody. It's like, what are we doing here? Are you a wrestler? Shut the fuck
I have
up.
questions.
Wrestle.
I have some questions.
What?
So
okay.
I don't know what this thunderclap thing that you keep saying is.
When that LuFisto thing happened, Britt Baker and all the girls that didn't even like each other that were backstage at 6 p.m. on a Friday all tweeted how they're for the company and how LuFisto's a piece of shit and
Oh,
we all
okay,
love each
okay.
other. And you saw Britt Baker go, thanks, sis. Like, she's replying to some of the other
Okay.
female. I'm like, what are we fucking doing here?
I
This
gotcha,
is some
I
high
gotcha.
school
I did-
shit. This is mean girl bullshit.
That sounded like gibberish to me. You said that twice. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. He's
It's a
talking about.
thunderclap. It's where you all
And-
you all tweet at the same exact time in unison.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what girl were you talking about, MILF Man?
Oh no, I was talking about they had a match with a girl named Megan Bain and Thunder Rosa, where Thunder Rosa is coming in to make the save because Megan Bain and Penelope Ford were double teaming what's her name? The girl that beat Jade Cargill's streak. I forgot her name.
Statlander.
But, yeah,
Statlander,
Statlander, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Thunder Rosa comes in with a chair. Naturally, the heels run off when the babyface comes in with the chair. They literally stood there, and Thunder Rosa's like, you're
They
supposed
no
to
sold it, and she had to put the chair
She-
down.
They made her look like the dumb. She's literally standing right in front of them. And she's like, I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you. And he's
Because they don't like
And
Thunder Rosa
that-
backstage, so they're fucking with her on live
Was that
TV.
Megan Bain? Was that on Megan Bain or was that on Ford or
that
who
was
was
on
that on?
both. You had both chicks literally just stood there
There's
like,
there's a rumor because Penelope Ford and Britt Baker are best friends or whatever. That Penelope Ford kind of like did that to stick it to Thunder Rosa.
I did on the topic I did hear that she erased all the AEW mentions off of her Instagram account. Britt Baker. I don't know if it's
Well,
true
yeah,
or
because
not,
she's
but I
fucking
read that.
fired. They're not going to use her ever again. She's done. She caused too much trouble back there.
No, like you said, like even the thing you were saying with the best friends being like not liking Thunder Rosa or whatever, it all just sounds like just high school. It literally just sounds
It's
like
Mean Girls on live TV.
No, but
And
yeah,
by the
yeah,
way,
yeah,
this is
she
Tony
also-
Khan's fucking money. You know how much money it costs to go live?
Because
So
she prayed,
imagine you're talking about this being like high school, right? Right, and then imagine dropping Mercedes into the middle of that. and
Exactly.
giving her
There you
creative
go.
Control.
There's your Hulk
Oh, yeah.
Hogan.
oh yeah. And it's just it's like every few months it's like what new drama is coming from the AEW locker room kind of thing. It's
And
like
then
the
they-
back,
And
the
then they say,
backstage
oh,
drama
it,
better than the TV
when this
drama.
shit gets out, oh, it's just the haters. It's like, dude, what are you fucking talking about? Your wrestlers are tweeting this stuff out.
it's literally happening like
Oh,
in
Punk was
front
the
of our
problem,
faces.
but Eddie Kingston is punching fucking Sammy Guevara in the face. Like
Sammy
Andrade
Guevara
punched Sammy
should have
Guevara in the
him
face.
on him.
What? Like seriously, you're letting this shit happen in your locker room?
yeah.
And you
it's-
can't even find Sammy
This is
Guevara
what I'm
in the
saying.
middle
Like this
fucking
company is a
top
piece of
ten.
shit. This guy Tony Khan fucking sucks.
The other thing is about AEW is you would say like they go out of their way like he was saying Milkman was saying before about how all their champions are former WWE guys. Like they go out of their way to get the former WWE guys and then push them over their homegrown stars for a
Yeah.
certain amount of time until they get tired of them, and then they just put them on the back burner until they get upset and then go back to WWE. It's just a vicious cycle that's happened multiple times now. And it's going to happen with Aleister Black, obviously. So you have, I mean, we've watched it with Andrade. We've watched it with like even their guys that they had that WWE never had are now going to WWE. Ethan Page and Ricky Starks, and you have all these people leaving AEW and being like, well, maybe things are better on the other side, which is funny because the whole story is if we go to AEW, it'll be I'll be a bigger fish in a smaller pond, so I'll be the champ or I'll be the whatever it is, and that's what people have this idea in their head that's going to happen in AEW, but it just doesn't happen because instead they're pushing the main WWE guys that they have. And the Aleister Blacks or Malachi Black or El Idolo or whoever, they never get the chance to be the main guy. And then they're like, well, if I'm never going to be the main guy, I might as well never be the main guy in WWE. Like,
Well, you also had a roadblock known as Vince McMahon when these guys decided to go to AEW. You know what I mean?
But you got Tony Khan acting like Vince because you got Scorpio Sky literally saying he's been healthy for the past 2 years and they're literally paying him to do nothing. He hasn't been on TV in like 2 years.
I know that.
So real random thing about Scorpio Sky is
look at the Elite. The Elite doesn't even want to fucking be there anymore. They're not even there.
When Luka Doncic got traded, I turned on the Lakers Nation podcast, and I was listening to the talk about the Lakers Nation podcast, talk about Luka being traded to the Lakers, and then all of a sudden the guy is like, "Here we have Scorpio Sky joining us," and I'm like, "Who?" And then it's legitimately Scorpio Sky on the Lakers podcast talking about the Lakers for like an hour and a half. I was just like, "Holy shit, this is weird."
Oh, but I'm curious though, since we're on AEW, I know what Perry thinks, but I'm curious what Nick and Sean think because I already know what Perry's going to say. What do everybody think about what Swerve Strickland said about Cody Rhodes being a bigger star because of AEW?
I think it's true. I think it's true.
Because he said Cody, he said Sasha, he said CM Punk, and I forgot who was the fourth. Oh, the fourth person was Ricky Starks.
Only Cody.
Only Cody. Yeah.
Only Cody.
Cody.
Ricky Starks. I guess maybe Ricky Starks because of like that he got his exposure there because he wasn't anywhere else before there. But like CM Punk is not more famous because he was in AEW. That's ridiculous.
No.
Like it's only Cody. And the only reason it's Cody is because Cody needed to leave WWE and do this for him to become the main eventer that he is now.
100%.
Well, it was also Vince to spite AEW by putting this guy in the main event.
I can't say that they would never make him the main guy if he was always there.
Right.
But there's much less of a possibility.
But also,
and like Perry said, it definitely is like, hey, look, this was the guy that you had. Fuck you. We made him the champ. Like
you couldn't even book him because they were booing him. That was Vince's way of saying fuck you. Like we still do it better than you. And that was the end of AEW right there. I mean, you know what I mean?
I think that they can, like, that could happen. I do feel like that could happen in WWE, but just not to it. I just don't see it. Like the thing is like in a Mark crowd, like an AEW crowd, the whole crowd could be like, we hate Cody. In a WWE crowd, only like a New York crowd will fully be like, we hate this.
Yeah, a smarter crowd.
Yeah, but do you understand that AEW crowd destroyed the company? Because they took the side of the Elite, and every time Punk was out there, fuck you. There was a guy, he was right by the barricade. There was this huge fat guy, just kept saying, fuck you, live TV to CM Punk. Giving him the minute. I'm like, these people are fucking nuts. They're the same people that booed Cody out of the building. It's like, yeah, okay, you got what you wanted. You got rid of Punk, you got rid of Cody, and guess what? You don't have a fucking company anymore.
Like,
I would bet you that if you talk to any of those people, they're still watching AEW. They enjoy it, and they don't give a shit that those two people aren't there.
Yeah, and that's
anymore.
fine. And when it's out of business in fucking 5 more years, then they'll have to come back.
Yeah, that's fine. But like, that's what I'm saying.
It's like the
is like
TNA
those
people. There was a
those
contingent of
people were
TNA
such a niche
people.
audience in
that-
the first place that they're all going to this company to be in this sort of ambiance of like, oh yeah, we're the edgy extreme wrestlers. It's like they want to feel like they're ECW, but they're just AEW. And in the end, it was supposed to be this counter to WWE, but now it's more like just another place for wrestlers to go when
It's
they
fucking
don't
indie promotion
feel
with TV. That's all it is.
Actually, to me, it's just a cheap knockoff for WWE is what it is.
Let me tell you something about ECW, okay? You had one guy behind ECW, Paul Heyman. The guy knew how to fucking book. And that's why ECW still has like the legacy it has today.
Yeah.
Because they gave us good matches. They made stars. He was promoting the shit out of Rob Van Dam. And, you know,
And Rob Van
that's
Dam was
also,
never
like-
world champion. That's the amazing thing. He wasn't even the champ.
I
He wasn't even
feel
the
though
world
that's
they
also,
didn't get
like,
there. They
when
were
you
going to
don't
get there,
have
and then they
these-
went out of business. So there you go.
I also feel like the fans criticizing RVD for calling that spot overdone is crazy.
Okay, the AEW fans are calling out Rob Van Dam because he criticized the John Moxley spot that you're looking at on the screen right here.
Yeah.
And they've been arguing. I've been seeing the tweets on my feed. I don't even follow Rob Van Dam. But he's just going back and forth. He says, I don't care if I'm turning heel. Fuck you guys. Like, I'm like, damn, you go, Rob Van Dam.
Nothing Rob Van Dam ever did in the match was remotely like that. Even his most
Oh,
hard
in
German
TNA,
matches.
he held the barbed wire board against Abyss. And it's like, Jesus Christ. These people actually dug all that stuff up. And they're like, well, if you had a problem with ECW, you should have quit. It's like, yeah, he's going to quit a contract in the 90s. Like, figure that out.
Yeah.
These guys are
And
all
people were
stupid. These
considering,
fucking
like,
fans. I swear to God.
People were calling him a hardcore. I'm like, brother, do you know how good RVD and like still for a guy his age, RVD still looks great.
Let me tell you something about ECW.
great.
They never use lighting
Wrestlers and
tubes
wrestlers
or
are better,
glass. Okay?
Like I saw RVD in NEW against Darby Allin, and it was rough.
I've seen RVD in wrestling countless times over the last few years, and he's looked all right. I mean, the fact that we still have RVD like with us is like awesome because
I don't know. He's just like he never seemed to be like the guy that was doing the roids or whatever. He just got high all the time. Like
no, yeah, but you just never know, and you just never
He
know.
was
with
definitely on
wrestlers.
roids.
You never know. A lot of the
Yeah.
guys, even if they didn't look like they were on steroids
Yeah,
back
they were
then,
on
they
it.
were on shit.
I would say though that like when we were talking about how Paul Heyman booked ECW, sometimes when you have a finite amount of talent, you have to like work with what you have, and that makes you mold stars better.
Right.
Whereas sometimes one of the things I think that Tony Khan had a trouble with is that he has, it's like that whole like Tony Khan and his toys. Like
Yeah.
he has too much to handle, and he's such a mark that he likes everybody, so he tries to appease everybody. And by doing that, he makes bland bullshit.
Right.
Because like
Yeah.
how many fucking like 10-man tag team matches are we gonna see just so that everybody could get on TV and get their shit in? Like it happens way too much, and that's like a straight from New Japan or AJPW or any of the Japanese wrestling things. They love to do those multi-man tag matches
Yeah.
just to get everybody in, but like they do them as like a sport thing, and they're like, oh, like everybody's here to see these guys, whereas it's like Tony Khan is doing it because he's like, well, I signed these guys, they really deserve to be on television, so how can I get them on TV?
Yeah.
And he just puts them in these meaningless fucking things, fighting like Michael Conforto or whoever the fuck it is. Like it's always some random person that you're like, well, you don't even need these guys. Like there's
it's
so
very-
many other guys. It's like, are these the jobbers? Like, are these the guys that are in the enhancement talent, or are they actually guys that are going to win at some point? Because I feel like they don't really differentiate that much, and even when you know that they're the jobbers, they're sort of like made to be like more than that, if that
Like,
makes sense.
because, I mean, yeah. Oh, I know what you're saying, because it's like, all right, he'll have a jobber with a top guy, and they'll be in a 15-minute match. I'm like, hold up, you're in a 15-minute match with a jobber? Like,
Like,
why?
or even just randos. It's like, oh, here's Kenny Omega fighting blah 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 for 20 minutes. And it's like, well, I mean, isn't this guy supposed to be the guy? But like blah 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 off the street brings him into a 20-minute match. And I get that it's supposed to push the other guy, but then I never go back to that guy. Like, it's like, here I am showcasing this one rando that, like, I feel they're obviously not going to do that with this whole speedball thing, because they seem to believe in speedball.
Dude, that fucking
But,
guy
like-
looks like a villain from a fucking Steven Seagal movie in the 80s.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the point. But like, also, like,
Fucking played out. Who
he's-
wants to watch that shit?
he's a super indie guy, like very, very, like, he's been around forever as
Isn't
like,
he
the,
from
like
TNA though? Isn't he from TNA?
Who?
Speedball Mike Bailey.
Is that
I've only heard of him from the Independence and stuff.
What's his name? Shitballs Mike Bailey?
Speedball?
Is he is he Bailey? Related to Bailey?
Yes. Third cousin removed.
He looks like a fucking
He looks
Like
like
an
a villain
extra
from a
on
Seagal movie, right?
yeah.
He
But why are they signing all these guys and they're not using them? Because I heard they signed Josh Alexander and they didn't use him yet.
Yeah,
Why are they
I'm not-
signing all these?
Why is his name
Yeah, he was in-
Speedball? Is he 8-ball behind the
He was-
8-ball Mike
but
Bailey?
that's my
he was-
point. Like, it's like
He was in
he's always-
TNA. He was in TNA for 3 years. He was in New Japan, and now he's in AEW.
That's
Okay.
my point, though.
He's
There's
getting
like,
paid
he's
$100
always
million
like,
a
"Oh,
year."
This guy's available. I'm gonna sign this guy. This guy's available. I'm gonna sign this guy. And sure, WWE does that too. But like, WWE also is like if they don't think you're gonna be on TV, they're just like, you're not gonna be on TV. Like, they're not gonna be like, well, like,
RWK,
people
take care,
aren't
buddy.
happy. People aren't happy. We got to push everybody into specific spots and, you know, fit things around everybody. Although they obviously are trying their best to do that. Like, but like, Tony goes out of his way to like be like, oh, I'm going to use everybody. And then once he finally is like, I'm not using this person, they don't show up forever. And then it's like, what the fuck is this person even there for? Like, why did you even sign this person? And I don't think that he pushes the right people. And also, like, sometimes,
But-
man, like, the other thing is like, when you take a group or a talent directly from WWE and then they come across looking worse, it's like, how the fuck how do you come back from that? Like Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh,
and,
those guys are all
Guys were the-
fucked.
like,
Those
how
guys
do
were
you
like
come
full
back from
shields in NXT.
They destroyed their
Undisputed
fucking legacy
Era-
if they had one.
The only
Undis-
person that came out better out of
Is
them
two
was,
people, I would
Roderick
say.
Strong.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong actually got to be a personality. He got to be a funny character and do like some sort
After
of
30
things where
years,
he had-
Roderick Strong gets over.
What's what I mean? Like, he finally, Roderick Strong was the serious, I'm a hard worker, I kick your ass guy in WWE. He had
Yeah.
very little personality. He was just one of the guys in Undisputed Era. But once he went to AEW, they let him be goofy. They let him do promos and be weird, and he got over that way. But like, that was when he was with Taven and being in the wheelchair and all that shit. Like, now he's just a guy. He's with them. Like, they're bland, like
Yeah.
bland as fuck. And Kyle O'Reilly was bland before he went to AEW. They made him fucking blander in AEW. Like,
No, but
Like, I
in
don't-
no, but people liked him in NXT. People loved the Undisputed Era. They were over
Yeah.
as shit.
Yeah, they were.
They're
They
the-
were.
I completely
Yeah.
agree. They were super over. They could have been super over on the main roster too, but it didn't work out. And I understand, like, from all the talk of what Vince wanted to do with them, it makes sense for them to leave. But in the end,
He ended
They're
up being
shit
Keith
now.
Lee's
They're like-
manager anyway. Keith Lee came out with Adam Cole that one time on AEW.
yeah, in the end, it's just like it doesn't matter. They're like, you know, like, I don't know. It's just, I just think like they do these things where it's like you're supposed to it's supposed to matter and you're supposed to care, and then it just turns out to be shit, and it's like nobody gives a shit.
to me is too predictable because you look at like you got a guy like any big dude, name the big dude, whether it's Hobbs, you've had him job the freaking pockets multiple times. You've had freaking Taz's son Hook beat Brian Cage. That's not believable. I'm sorry, that's not believable. That's a joke. All their big men are jobbers. They don't have one big man who's not a jobber.
Well, they got to get revenge on New York for giving all those big guys those big contracts all those years.
I don't I understand the David versus Goliath and like that. Like I don't like
Like I
I
don't
feel like
mind it sometimes, but they do it every time. Anytime you see a big guy with a smaller guy, you automatically know the big guy's the underdog every single time. Only
That's just
AEW can do that.
yeah, but they
When I
work
thought-
they work from under though. They work from under though. Like it's always the the big guy beats the hell out of them for the entire match and then they pull something out and win. How they it's formulaic, but like in the end it's like like I don't know, like I don't think that really matters as much as just like pushing the wrong guys or the right guys. Like to me, Brian Cage is like he's just a guy. Like I don't know, like he's huge.
He looks like he's gonna
and
explode.
He built his whole entire personality around Wolverine, and like okay, like he's never been anybody that I've been like, oh yeah, that's the guy. He doesn't look. He just because he's jacked, like okay, like that's not it. But like to me, like AEW does a lot of start stop like WWE used to do, where it's like, oh, we're pushing this guy, and then all of a sudden he doesn't matter, and then there's the next guy, and then he doesn't matter.
The only time I liked Brian Cage was he was in Lucha Underground, and that was about it. Lucha Underground, he was like really he was fun there.
He's
But
probably booked really well. Did he have a mask or was he just Brian Cage?
he was just Brian Cage for the most part.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, like when I remember.
No, yeah, you didn't have no mask on.
I just
No,
know that
his name was Cage. His name was Cage. So yeah. So, but he was really good in there. But yeah, AEW really hasn't used him that well at all. I never cared about it.
I would choose Lucha Underground in front of AEW.
Lucha Underground was fun, man. It's a shame that it ended the way it ended, but Lucha Underground was fun. Fun show. Anything else we need to get into?
I think that was it. Just the Moxley thing, right? What are you
Do you
saying?
think
Okay.
that, like so it's the only thing that matters in AEW is the Moxley spot? There's nothing else that anybody cares about.
I haven't been watching mostly, so I just don't know what's going on.
I stopped
but
watching
I'm-
years ago.
Oh, they've been pushing on. They've been teasing a storyline. I know. I've seen the clips where they're teasing MJF possibly joining the Hurt Business.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
MJF.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're pushing MJF because MVP gave him a business. Because what MVP does is he gives them anybody he's potentially interested in, he gives them the business card. So he gave MJF a business card.
Those two are
then-
legitimately like buddies. MJF
Yeah.
and MVP. They're like
Yeah.
they're close for real.
But
So
they're
I could
not bringing-
totally see that happening, but like it's not a terrible angle if it doesn't happen. If they end up fighting, like that's good. Like I don't think that's a terrible thing.
No, but now they're doing it where they had Bobby Lashley take the card away from MJF and kind of like punk him a little
So
bit.
you know what this means? MJF's gonna beat Bobby Lashley. Another unbelievable match.
What I did see also is like I said, Omega is the international champion. He's fighting Speedball
Yeah, good for
and
him.
somebody else.
Nice
There's like
fucking
a
career for Kenny Omega.
Three-way title. I I've already said this before. Kenny Omega, like face Kenny Omega does nothing for me. He's just so generically like, I'm here. Everybody cheer for me because
So you
I'm
like him
good.
so you like him as Bullet? You like the Bullet Club? Kenny Omega, the cleaner.
Oh, like
Yeah, the cleaner was
the
better.
over the top cleaner is the best version. Like that shit is hilarious. Like when he was like sweeping the broom and being stupid. Like I like that. Like I think that's funny. Like I don't need my wrestlers to be like serious. Like it like most of the time when I like a wrestler, it's because they're multidimensional and they can do comedy. Otherwise, like if you're one note like Moxley, like it does nothing for me. Like So like I would rather, enjoy people that have some range. And I get that, but I feel like that's also puts me in the space that I don't end up um like my favorite wrestlers are never like the champion. Sometimes it happens, but very often it doesn't because they're more all arounder people that end up in the mid card or sometimes they win or whatever, but most of the time like I just like people that are entertaining. Like, and if you're just one note character, I'm serious or I'm a bad guy, it's boring.
Yeah. Fair. That is fair.
But with Kenny Omega is he's just being like a generic. He's being himself. Like there's no like actual character. He's just
Nothing to grab
literally-
you. Yeah, nothing to grab you. Just
And like I'm happy for him that he's come back and he's an amazing wrestler. But like being an amazing wrestler like that only goes so far for me. Like I don't. They have so many of those guys. Like I know that he's like the top of the top, but like you have
Benj, what's up,
Ospreay,
man?
and you have Kyle Fletcher, and all these guys do the same flippy shit and are all pretty jacked and are all kind of in the same like realm. So it's like, unless you have something else extra, you're not really that interesting. And even like we're talking about, I've been described as the Kenny Omega guy. Like at this point, he's Tyson Smith. Kenny Omega disappeared like after he became a good guy. Like he's literally not.
I don't
anything
know.
but,
He
like,
he hit the
Omega.
fucking dog with the Bucks when they broke in this guy's locker room. Is he really a good guy? Why don't we bring up his arrest record?
He doesn't.
Come
have
on.
one.
Oh, he's got one. He's definitely got one.
What is it?
He hit a dog in the face.
Didn't he take the dog out of the?
Yeah, he hit the dog in the face, grabbed the dog.
So it was an accident.
well, hasn't he gone on record and said he has no problem with CM Punk? Hasn't Kenny Omega?
Well, he
gone
said
on
that
record?
because he wants to go to WWE now. That's why he said that. But when he was there, he had a huge problem with him.
I really think that.
I don't think that anything would happen. It's like this guy's a
I just
fucking
think
idiot.
that he was caught up in a situation.
He's
that
fucking
he
Gene
wasn't-
Wilder on steroids. That's all this guy is.
Oh, but I'm curious on everybody. What they, even though it's not AEW, what does everybody? Because it just popped up in my head. What does everybody think about Jacob Fatu since he's so widely over? And even though he's a heel, but he's getting some huge.
You know what I
he's
think?
getting
His father's gonna
big
fucking tweet about him, and then he'll be in the main event at WrestleMania next year.
That's not his father.
I love
He's got his
I love
last
Jake.
name, Fatu.
I love Jacob Fatu. I mean, he's good. I mean, he gets a reaction out of people because when the second they signed that kid, I was like, he's gonna do some shit in WWE 100%.
See, I wasn't familiar with him. I had never seen Jacob Fatu before.
Eli, what's up?
What's going on?
I saw him
Eli?
in
What's up, Benj?
MLW.
Yeah,
He was
MLW. He was pretty popping in MLW. He was
the guy for a while. It was like
Yeah.
Hammerstone and then him, and I watched a bunch of him in MLW, so I knew he was really good. I mean, to me, he's the best of all of them. Like maybe not Roman Reigns, but like he's the best.
Yeah.
He's better than any of the other guys that like
100%.
he has like a look. He's the
Mhm.
best. Like he's big, huge. He moves better than most of them.
100%. He a guy his size shouldn't move the way he
Yeah,
does.
that's what I mean.
He
Like
does.
he's
yeah.
just way
I
too all
personally
around.
think-
I
he's a
didn't
better
realize
promo
his
than
whole
Reigns.
like. I was gonna say I didn't realize his whole like sort of gangster persona was gonna like work so well. Like, because once they started letting him talk, I was like, oh shit. I knew he could talk because of MLW, but where the direction they let him go, it made him even more intimidating. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, and more interesting. More people, he's like, oh, he's not just like I love you, Solo, or whatever. He's got like edge, and I think he's gonna be like he's a shoo-in to be a future champion. Like,
Yeah.
unless something goes horribly wrong, I can't see how he could not like he's
Same.
not gonna be a champ.
So, do you think he gets a title before Steiner? Before what's his name? Braun Breaker.
Ron Breaker?
Yes, I do.
Who's getting the title before Braun?
Jacob
Oh,
Fatu or
Jacob.
Braun
Nah,
Breaker?
Braun Breaker's winning that shit. Come on.
I don't know. I think Jacob might. I mean, we're talking about,
But
like-
Braun's kind of on the faster, I think, trajectory to the main event thing than
Braun's gonna
Jacob,
beat
just 'cause-
Gunther.
just because Jacob is like Braun's been there for a little bit longer than Jacob, so it's kind of like
Goldberg's gonna beat Gunther for the title, and then Braun's gonna beat Goldberg, and that's the end
oh
of it.
my God. That would fucking suck so
Yeah, well, guess
bad.
what? You're gonna have to fucking watch it and enjoy it.
Ugh.
I think that's a future WrestleMania main event is Breaker versus Fatu. But Breaker will be the babyface.
100%.
And Fatu
Could
will
be.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
I
could-
believe in Breaker. I think that, like, in the end, like, I think that they'll end up giving Fatu the title before, because I feel like he's going to be more undeniable. Like,
Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker are the two guys I think they should, like, for the next, like, the future, like 5 years from now, like you have to be two of the guys that are like your mainstays, in my opinion.
yeah, definitely. I mean, you
To me,
definitely
to make
wanna
one of
build
them win the
around
Rumble next year.
these
one of them
young
should win the Rumble.
guys.
So I mean, those are the guys I think you got to put your money behind. You're just like, because I think they're young, they're athletic, they can actually go, and they're good. They're super talented. I mean, Braun Breaker, his athleticism is insane.
I think the
And
both
so
of
would-
them should have, like, long, like a fair amount of time as mid card champion / championship contenders against
Yeah.
all the other mid card guys to, like, build the mid card. Because I feel like, honestly, the mid card is really, like, it could be really, really good, but, like, I feel like they kind of sometimes they get so worried about, like, having the biggest of big names fight somebody that they're either, like, a really big name that's a main eventer fighting for it, or it's somebody that for sure has no chance of winning it. And I feel like, or they have the same person fight, like, the same two people fight like a million times.
Yeah.
I think that, like,
I-
when you put
yeah.
people like Fatu and Breaker in that mid card, and you leave them there for a long enough time, it'll make the mid card better, like they used to do back in the day. Because I feel like they kind of give the mid card to somebody and then they push them up too fast.
Yeah, Venge says Jacob reminds me a lot of Umaga, which is great. Yeah, that is true. He does
I think they
remind me a lot of Umaga.
I think they both have Paul Heyman guys written all over them. One
Really?
of them would be a future Paul Heyman guy. I just have that feeling like one of them's going to be a future Heyman guy. It doesn't
can see
matter
that.
when Heyman turns.
Goldberg
Heyman's turn.
tweeted that he is the master of the spear. So I mean, why would he tweet that recently if the only guy that
And
does the
has he-
spear is Breaker?
He had been talking about like having a final match, Goldberg? Like he's been
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
having one more.
Yeah, they're saying that.
Yeah, Goldberg thinks to have one more match in WWE. He signed up for one more.
They're
retirement,
saying
like a
that
retirement.
he's gonna go up against Gunther, but I think he's gonna beat Gunther for the belt and then drop it to Breaker because he's gonna going out with the Steiner. So
Well, because they did that segment with Gunther a while back. Where
the
he was in
Steiners
front
all beat
row.
up Goldberg, so you got one left. He's gonna beat the shit out of Goldberg,
they-
and that's it.
They did it at a I forgot what pay per view that was. It was a segment on a pay per view.
Yeah, where Goldberg kind of like stared down Gunther, or Gunther not acknowledged Goldberg in the. It was
In the crowd.
It was
He was
the
in the
Atlanta.
crowd
It was
behind
the
the
Atlanta
mountain.
pay per view, right? The pay per view that was in Georgia. I
Right.
forget what pay per view it was, but he was in the crowd and Gunther called him out. So they could do something like that. I got.
Like, I don't understand why are they slow playing something that involves Goldberg wrestling? Like, if you want to wrestle and have Goldberg wrestle, they should do it as soon as possible because he ain't getting any better with age.
I think
Well, he
they're
had
saving
stem
it for
cell
SummerSlam,
replacement.
Since SummerSlam is 2 nights, I believe they're saving it for SummerSlam.
Yeah,
They're saving it for
I
one of
think
those
that's a
nights as a
SummerSlam
selling
event.
point.
SummerSlam is two. I forgot. You know, 2 nights.
Yeah, remember MetLife.
Yeah. Fuck Christ.
And by the way, if you want to get front row, the ticket packages is a $2,000 down payment you got to put right now.
Yeah, fuck
But
that.
like what would getting beat by Goldberg at WrestleMania do for Gunther?
At
It would
WrestleMania.
bury him in some people's eyes. He'd be over.
Like, what would
would
it do? Like like in anything, it would just fuck Gunther up. Like, it doesn't. There's no benefit to having Goldberg beat Gunther.
Well,
Except for,
Goldberg
like,
gets the
the spell.
title, and then he loses it to Braun Breaker in a retirement match. And that's it. Then you got your new champion, and that's it.
I just don't. It just doesn't make any sense.
But then do you have Gunther?
It
feud
does
with
if you follow his
Braun
career
after?
because he's lost to Steiner's before. So if a Steiner ends his career, that's a big fucking deal.
So he's gonna have 2 matches as like
He would
was
beat
talking about
Gunther for the
having
belt,
Gunther-
and then he would drop the belt to Breaker at a pay per view.
immediately.
You don't think he would beat Jay Uso for it because they look at Jay Uso as weaker? Or do you
No,
just have him beat
why
Jey
would
Uso and-
he had beef with Gunther, and it's kind of fucked up. I'm not going to go any further with this shit. Anyway, just look at Gunther and look at Goldberg, and you'll figure it out. But you would have him lose to Braun
Yeah.
Breaker. Braun Breaker becomes champion. He retires Goldberg. He finally did what his uncle and his dad couldn't do. Well, his uncle did fucking beat up Goldberg, but he didn't retire him. But he
Not a
he
terrible
completes the
story. I get
legacy.
I get where you're coming from, but I don't see I know what you're saying, and I get the end game, but really that just undercuts anything that they've done with Gunther. Like, it's just like, oh,
Well,
and
they
then, like,
had fucking Brock beat Undertaker streak, so Brock could lose to Goldberg.
you know
so
what?
there you
though?
go.
Like, honestly, if it meant that Jey Uso wasn't gonna win the title, and that Gunther would keep it until he lost to Goldberg, and then Goldberg would lose it immediately to Braun Strowman or Braun Breaker, sure, I'd be fine with
Braun
it. I'd be
Strowman.
happy.
He already
with it.
lost the title to Braun Strowman.
And I don't want Goldberg to be the champion ever again, but like in this scenario, I would pick that because I'd rather not.
I think that's what
like,
you're
'cause
going to get.
I know once Jey Uso is the champ, he's going to be the champ for a little while, and I just don't want that. Like, I don't want to watch that all the time.
I don't think that's
So you-
happening.
I personally think if he gets the title, he's dropping it before SummerSlam because I believe it's going to be either like a big name like a Punk or Rollins or Roman holding that title for SummerSlam.
I mean, it would make sense for business, like that would happen, but like, what are they going to do? Undercut of like a title run that they're doing? I mean, you know what? Maybe they will. I mean, they probably will undercut a title run that was specifically made for the fans to make them upset, so that they want him to win again or whatever. So you're right. Maybe he will lose before SummerSlam or whatever. But I don't even know if I can deal with that. I really don't want to watch that much Jey Uso because it's just like not only is his wrestling not that good, but like his entrances take like 40 minutes now.
Yeah, I know. I was sitting in the audience at MSG, and everyone's doing that shit. I'm like, am I at a club? Where am I?
It's not gonna. I'm not trying to hate all over it. Like, I'm not saying that it's bad or anything, but it's just like it's too long. I don't need two.
It's like
of them.
mindless zombie.
need-
Whoa,
like,
whoa, whoa,
Yeet,
whoa. And I'm
yeet,
like,
yeet, and then they stop, and then they fucking do it over again, and it's just like some of this time could be used for
not to walk
somebody
out of the
else.
fucking building.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just it. Like I sometimes when these people get really over and they're like a little too over, that they like are just like, well, I'm gonna spend 40 minutes doing the same fucking thing. And
Well, you missed the
cares?
early days of Cena. He used to rap when he got to the ring
yeah, that was good.
the whole time.
Those were good. Those were funny as hell, dude. That was legitimately the best.
Well, it took
time
him like
Cena
45 minutes to get in the ring.
His raps were so freaking funny, and that
No,
was like
what
the
was
best
worse.
scene.
The worst part about that, like before, like not just Cena rapping to the ring, but the when Cena first started doing the rapper gimmick, and he was like had the beat behind him as he was rapping down to the ring. That was kind of corny. He was
Yeah.
just like, "Yo, I'm John Cena. I'm coming down to the
Well,
ring."
Was it the one guy? He had the one guy. What is it? Bull Buchanan. Was it
Yeah,
B squared or
B
whatever.
squared, bro. B
Yeah.
squared.
Oh, I actually met B Square in person. I actually
B
met him once.
squared. That's
He actually
fucking
signed my
kid.
Survivor Series ticket, I believe.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
No, because
I
it was Survivor Series 2000.
His
Every year was
his-
the Elimination Chamber.
his son's in NXT, isn't he?
Really? I
He's-
didn't know that.
Bobby Cannon's son's in NXT, isn't he?
I don't know.
I
I didn't even know
that.
you had a kid.
Yeah, am I tripping here? Bull Buchanan.
Because I remember meeting
Hey,
Bull
did
Buchanan
you guys-
after the
Did you
Survivor
guys
Series.
see
then-
Von Wagner was one of the security guards on AEW?
He was.
Yeah, if you watch the most recent episode of AEW, he was in one of the segments. He was one of the security guards.
Yeah, Brooks Jensen in NXT is.
Oh,
Bo
that's his
Buchanan's
kid?
son. Yeah, that's Bo
That's
Buchanan's
interesting.
son. Yeah. So
Which is not bad. I mean,
no, he's not.
He should attack
he's been
Cena.
put in the-
He's
in a
23 years
decent,
old. Oh, shit.
When the
he's
fuck
been
did he
put in
have
a
this
decent
kid?
setting. He was put in a with a.
He had his kid August 21st, 2001.
Oh, okay.
He's in the group with Dillinger and or Sean Spears.
The Culling
And-
stable. Yeah.
Yeah, and the new guy, and then Izzy Dame, who I think is last I knew was dating Breaker.
Yeah.
Well, Breaker's it the guy. Is he dating?
Kind of feel
Yeah,
like he downgraded,
girl.
but
Yeah, but
just my opinion. I feel like Breaker downgraded, but okay.
it's fair. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up everything we have for the show. I want to thank Sean for coming on and Kenny Omega Guy. Thank you once again for chatting. And Milfman, thank you for coming on.
Oh,
All
thank
the
you for
milfs,
having me.
all the milfs in the world, thank you too, Milf man.
Thank you. They all acknowledge. Hey, I'm the leader of the MILF line.
Oh,
They all
Jesus.
acknowledge me.
The MILF line. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
MILF line.
He's got a third eye too.
That's crazy. But they want to thank everybody for hanging in the chat. Venge, Eli, RDBK, Anthony, everyone that came through today, appreciate it. Next show we do would just be me and Perry. And then we're gonna keep doing the every other week thing. We just had stuff come up this time around that prevented us from doing the last few weeks. But we'll be back not next week, but the week after with another episode of the podcast. Thank you guys once again for listening.
You forgot to say though, the next group chat is going to be everyone's going to be live in person. It's going to be held at a Denny's.
There we go. Yes, right in the.
And I wrote it for you.
Right in the Denny's. The hell was that?
What?
That's gonna be at the Denny's.
All the people at the Denny's talking.
Oh my God.
The waitress
Yeah,
has to say something about her opinion on AEW.
yeah. But yeah. So we'll see you guys next time on the Cheap Pop Podcast. Thank you guys once again for listening. I'm Nick,
I'm Perry.
and we'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye. Bye.